Hey friends, Lita! I'm so excited that you're here. I'm going to talk about Trump indictments for funsies because why not? Hey Lita.
Uh, this is nothing but a witch hunt. I am totally innocent. I am one of the best people that's ever walked this earth, and this is just a witch hunt.
It
All right, not my best impression, but
was better than I can do.
I can do the face though.
Good evening, Mrs. Diesel. I got our mascot here. He's so cute. Oh my God. So I'm so glad you're here because I'm sure you're going to love me being a nerd about birds with you very quickly.
Boo
Um,
bird.
I found this article. Look, he's so cute. I found this article the other day randomly that they found in New Mexico an ancient breeding site from the 1100s. Not ancient, is it? Anyway, from the 1100s of scarlet macaws, which are the big red ones with yellow and green on their wings and blue. Um, there were six eggshell fragments, not that that matters, um, with remains of macaws. So it was a breeding nest, and um, hold on one second. Which means that the reason why this is significant is because the first known breeding site of macaws was actually in northwestern Mexico, 1275. Okay, buddy, you can't do that.
But that's boo bird.
They're native to the rainforest of Mexico and Central America, but were transported and kept by people as far north as the desert southwest is what is now known as the United States as early as the 600s. So the reason why I find this to be so crazy, and I know it's like a real niche topic, is because birds are not domesticated. This is not a domesticated animal. This is a tamed animal, not domesticated. And yet they were keeping them as pets so very long ago. Anyway, that's my bird nerd for today.
Bird.
I'm sure pigeons were used. I guess parrots. Pigeons are also not domesticated. I don't think they are. Wait, I could be wrong. I could just be talking out of my ass. Hi. Hi, friends. Trump 2014. Yes, Trump 2014. Perfect. I love that. Are pigeons domesticated? Was I wrong about that? God damn it.
Sorry. Hopefully nobody got motion sickness from that.
You purchased 12 bees and they gave you 13 one was a freebie? Okay. I lied. Pigeons have been domesticated. Parrots are not domesticated. Pigeons, apparently there are domesticated pigeons. What are we doing there, bub? Are you
Pigeons
gonna
are
go to
awesome.
bed or they're very smart, apparently, which is weird because their heads are very tiny.
This changed recently, but um, they were the largest recipient of the Dickens Medal up until like 5 years ago. That's like the Animals Gallantry Award. It used to be just for wartime, but um, they changed that rule.
Jay said Mega 2024. Um, what is it that how do you make America great again? What is it that needs to happen? I'm gonna need my friends to start tapping the screen, please, and thank you.
Oh,
How do we make America great again? What indictments? What's the indictments? Oh boy, there's so many of them.
I
Do you
know how
want
to make America great again. Bring back the Eisenhower tax system.
to?
Diesel.
Oh, I did spell it wrong.
I didn't even notice. Put Trump in prison, yep. Diesel, you can't be muted. You're a moderator. Yeah, I didn't notice anything wrong with it, honestly. I'm not dyslexic, but... Oh, yeah.
What happened was I I had corrected it, but then I uploaded the wrong one because I'm a dork and I spell things wrong. But that's okay, I can fix it. See? Not so bad. Resolved. Oh no, there's new things at the bottom. Stop that. Okay, great. I he well, I mean, I'm a leftist, but also he did say that. Anyway, so if we're going to talk about Trump indictments, probably we should probably start with the latest one,
Oh,
which is
yeah, yeah.
Donald Trump and 18 of his allies were indicted in Georgia on Monday on the efforts to overturn the 2020 election. 13 of them were for Donald Trump, and you know what they just did in Georgia.
I mean, we have to point out that the RICO charges, that gangster shit's not like the fun, hearty, wholesome gangster shit.
The irony being that Giuliani was like a pioneer of that.
Well, they issued warrants for his arrest. You know, they're giving him and everyone else in the indictment until Friday the 26th. This Friday, I think it's the 26th. Next Friday, not this Friday, next Friday, to turn themselves in.
Yes, the 25th, right?
Real Money Jiggles said, if you're having legal problems, I feel bad for you, son. Trump got 91 felonies and Rico is one. I mean, 99 felonies and Rico is one. But it's very good.
That's
Very good.
good.
You should
I
you
like
should let
it.
him up into the box. He's actually a super smart guy.
Yeah.
Real Money
If you
Jiggles?
if you
Yep.
yeah, if you request, yeah, man, I like
Oh.
that guy.
Yeah, I've seen him in
I,
other lives.
sure.
It's a total witch hunt. I'm totally innocent.
I asked y'all to start
Nobody,
liking the live.
nobody is more
Oh,
innocent
thank
than
you.
me.
Russia, Russia, Russia.
I don't know who DeSeuss is. The
What?
title of this live says Trump indictment. I would like to talk about that. You might
Where's
want
the
to
S
find.
though? Because there's more than one. There's like more than a dozen.
I know. How many total indictments are there?
Um, my question has been recently, like, has there been more indictments than failed businesses? This
Sure.
fucking guy couldn't sell vodka. Like, how does that fail?
I mean, that's very true.
He wants to know if any of us are Trump supporters.
Do you see my hair?
I'm a
Do you
supporter
see
of
my
Trump going to
username? Not
prison.
not even
Excuse
maybe.
me. No, I'm a leftist.
Yeah, not even
Ellie
maybe.
Not
said
even maybe.
DeSeuss's profile says that he died for our sins. Does it say Trump died for our sins? Oh, really? Oh my God. Is there going to be a fifth indictment?
Isn't it like at this point a fifth round of indictments? Because aren't we on
Yeah.
like
It's
30-something indictments.
I, the judges are all going to start having to coordinate with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like we have court on the 19th. Well, his arraignment's on the 16th. He's got a hearing on the 12th.
Who's going on PTO? Who's not?
And I wouldn't
It's
want to be the
fucking
clerk working
wild
that
at this
shit.
point.
Nope.
Trump faces. This is perfect. Trump faces a total of 91 felony charges. Oh, real money jiggles, you're so right. I can't wait either. His real height and weight. Oh my God, that sounds like a great thing. He has a total
Jiggles, get
he
in the
91.
goddamn box.
Yeah,
It says he's
Get in the
between calls.
box.
I love when
I
people that
love
don't
him.
really think they know the legal system.
I
Get
don't know.
get real money in the box. He's like
Ar-
not to be mean, like, oh, get him in the box. Let's shit on him.
Artie,
He
you
knows
don't have a
things, and
job?
we'd like to talk to him. I think.
Well, he said he was between calls, but he'll come back later. 91 total felony charges. Um, he's the first and only president to be charged criminally. Says there's 5 indictments. What? This article can't be right.
Shriek looking ass in. Artie, what's really on your mind?
Who's got 7 years?
I'm a little filterless right now. I'm gonna.
Mm, you don't have to do that.
Oh, but I do.
Do you think that they're gonna purple up Trump?
Yes.
Yep.
I don't think there's a choice because of the way that the courthouse is made. I read
Oh,
an article. I saw
yeah,
something on CNN about that today.
yeah. You know what I love so much that I learned from Rachel Maddow the other day is that the Georgia governor can't pardon him.
That's what Justin said.
Yep. Yeah. I forget when, but there was like a lot of corruption back in the day where the governor of Georgia was just sending the I forget who, like the lieutenant governor or something to the prison and just like selling pardons to whoever could pay up the most. So they amended the Constitution so that the governor couldn't pardon criminals no more.
That's amazing.
I really love Alanis Morissette songs.
Isn't it ironic?
Don't
Don't
you
you think?
think?
Oh
Do you
my
remember?
God, a red state doing foul shit. Oh,
Yes.
I am shocked
Let's clutch our pearls
and
at once.
and oh oh.
Kelsey. Kelsey.
Well, Giuliani was once termed as mayor. Great question. I think he was always scum. He just had that one moment.
Yep. He squandered it. 7-year witch hunt and no convictions. Well, conviction happens after trial, and guess what's coming up soon?
You know,
Being deemed liable in a civil court is the same thing as being convicted guilty in a criminal court. Yeah, he sexually assaulted that woman,
yes, he did.
and that's not okay. So don't be a Trump apologist for um, doing that shit. Okay, Morgan, I'm gonna drop down because I'm gonna eat dinner in this lovely city of Pittsburgh. They call it the Burb.
Are you
They should just call it the Pits because it's the Pits.
are are you having pierogi pizza?
No, I'm not. I'm actually having Mediterranean food.
I thought you were gonna have pierogi pizza.
I,
Okay.
well, me too. So,
I like
um,
Mediterranean. I would have went for that too. I'm sorry, Morgan.
I'm about to get
yeah,
I'm about to go get Robin to go bring you some pierogi pizza, okay?
yeah. Have Robin show up. We can go have some beers or whatever.
Everyone's
Um,
originally from Pittsburgh. I didn't know that.
yeah, but you ladies have a lovely night, and I'll be sitting in the comments while I'm eating.
Whatever you
Good
do,
luck.
don't go to Taco Bell,
Mm.
And
No,
if you
ma'am.
do, make sure you throw away your Taco Bell cup.
please.
No. I'm sorry. I'm gonna turn into a fucking karma jar because that's what you're supposed to do, from what I've seen on TikTok. Okay. Both of you, baited me into this. Yeah. Okay. Talk to y'all later.
I
Love
I don't
you.
know what you're. I'm talking about Trump indictments, Justin.
Yes, we're
Enjoy.
not talking about that train food,
Listen,
and it just took a weird turn. I just said something
Trump
about don't go
branded
to Taco
piss karma
Bell.
jars could possibly be a thing for fake ass leftists and their partners that probably shouldn't be with them anymore. Okay. All right. Bye.
Bye, Justin.
I don't know what that's
I don't
weird.
either.
Justin, I think Justin was speaking cursive. He's having a good time in the Berg.
Yeah, Pittsburgh's a great city.
It's quiet though. It's oddly quiet. If you've, I don't, I found it to be strangely quiet when I was there
Yeah,
in the city part of it.
Pittsburgh.
that sounds like Bakersfield. Same thing. Strangely quiet there. It's a big place. It's weird.
Stop.
It's not that big, but it's
Well,
kind of big.
Mrs. Diesel, I know it's not the topic, but it's a really funny statement because that person said there's only male and female, and then they said stop using pronouns.
See, and not everybody's gonna like. In my own life earlier, I wasn't even muting or blocking anyone. I'm just like, I was in such a mood today to just let them eat cake because I enjoy
Well,
watching them get butthurt. But obviously, that's gonna be different here. I'm just saying.
there's a couple people I muted or blocked because like sometimes I just go too far in your
Yeah,
life, but that's okay.
I did kick out that one person that was like telling me to silence you. Like, no, first of all, it's my live. You don't tell me to silence somebody on my live, and second of all, you don't talk to my friends that way.
He was,
He was an ass.
that argument was terrible. What is the point of lying about going to the moon? And it was, according to him, to funnel money into black programs. That's what he said, not what I said. Then he corrected
Yep.
it to black ops programs. I don't know. I thought it was really, I think it was a Freudian slip, okay? So, Trump indictment number one is the hush money to Stormy Daniels. 34 counts of falsifying business records. That's a lot of counts. The second one was the federal one about Trump taking the documents. Um, that case goes to trial in May of 2024. There's three more charges. Oh no, that's way more than that. There's 32 counts of willful retention of the national defense information for alleged violations of the Espionage Act. One count of conspiracy to obstruct justice, one count of corruptly concealing a document or record, one count of concealing a document in a federal investigation, one count of scheme to conceal, one count of false statements of representation, one count of altering, destroying, mutilating, or concealing an object, one count of altering, destroying, mutilating, or concealing a document, record, or object. Is that for shoving him down the toilet?
Yep.
Is that what that's for?
Mm-hmm.
This man. There are four charges in connection with January 6th. And those charges are one count of conspiracy to defraud the United States, one count of conspiracy to obstruct an official proceeding, one count of obstruction and attempt to obstruct an official proceeding, and one count of conspiracy against rights. This man, the Republican Party upholds as a god, literally has a one count against him, conspiracy to defraud the United States. That sounds like treason to me.
Yeah, and I think that it's going to get even deeper. I think that Kushner's involved in some way with the Saudis that isn't
Oh, yeah,
kosher,
maybe.
and I think a lot of this Hunter Biden stuff, well, whether like the courts will decide whether he's guilty or not. But it's been played up so much, I think, that it's a deflection from other people's kids and
Hmm.
relatives. That's just my opinion.
I agree. And then in Georgia, one charge of violation of the Georgia RICO Act, which Mrs. Diesel, RICO is racketeering, influenced, and corruption organizations. 3 counts of solicitation of violation of oath by public officer. 2 counts of conspiracy to commit false statements and writings. 2 counts of conspiracy to commit forgery in the first degree. 2 counts of false statements and writings. 1 count of conspiracy to commit impersonating a public officer. 1 count of conspiracy to commit filing false documents, and 1 count of filing false documents. 91 felonies.
I love this for him.
I don't think that he's going to be found guilty on all of these. I mean, I don't know what sort of repercussions he would have, but imagine if he was convicted of all 91.
Love you. Good night, Ty.
These charges have federal and state prison time, and all of them he's still able to run for president.
It's crazy.
Do you
Which
think that
means
his
the most important one is Georgia.
Yeah, because all of the counts he could be he's still eligible.
Right, but um, like if he were to theoretically continue his campaign from office and hypothetically win, he could just pardon himself out of prison. But that's for if he's convicted of a federal crime.
Mm-hmm.
If he's convicted of a state crime, only the governor can grant a pardon.
Pardon.
And in Georgia, even that's not an option. So
Do you think that Biden would pardon him?
no.
I mean, lots of people didn't think Ford would either.
There's so Real Money Jiggles said that Arizona might be doing the same thing, which actually makes sense because one of the things that is going on in Georgia that they're filing charges about involve the fake electors. So, which is something that they tried to do. And didn't they try to do fake electors in Arizona?
Yep. And Michigan and a couple others, I think.
They're dumb. And
President
Michigan,
can't
there's
pardon himself. Diesel, I was under the impression that was like politically or legally like ambiguous. Like nobody really knew back when they were asking that. But I don't know. Maybe you've heard something new since then. I don't know.
Oh, I'm just gonna have to download this one.
Hey, Sass, I'll be
I,
right back, okay?
Okay.
so in the dark 4 years, 2016 to 2020, I remember a whole lot of people when we would talk about charging Trump with a crime. Uh, sorry, I just got a message. People think, yeah, any mention of uh, Trump being charged with a crime, people would be like, innocent until proven guilty, innocent until proven guilty. So now these indictments are coming, or the indictments are here. And they're just like, it's a witch hunt. He did nothing wrong. It's like, well, now is the time to say innocent until proven guilty, I guess.
Well, I mean, it is true he's innocent until proven guilty, but like the entire country watched him try to overturn the election. Like we all saw it happen. We were fucking there. I mean, January 6th was televised on television. I was at work when that happened. We were watching it on the TV. It was crazy. My one of the things that I said when they did the New York when the New York stuff was going on. I remember last summer we were talking about it in a different live, and they were coming out with possible indictments for the Stormy Daniels and all that stuff. They were announcing an investigation. And I was saying, like, okay, so that is going to cause discovery, right? They're going to have discovery, which means they're going to get access to things like the campaign documentation. So they're going to get all that information. How many other indictments are there going to be? And here we are now, over a year later, we got 91 indictments, which will continue.
Hmm.
Additional discovery. How many more crimes do you think they're going to find?
A lot.
Well, I'm definitely not a lawyer, but I think with some of the stuff it might be tricky because it might be military sensitive or secret or top secret or so there'll have to be a process for that. I'm sure there's a military process for, or there
Well,
might have to be one that's made up for that. Who knows?
the
Miss,
the other thing too is that like with all the other people being charged, people are going to roll over on him more than they
Hmm.
already have.
oh,
Yes.
I'm sure. Mrs. Diesel said people have been charged with violating the RICO laws. The Cowboy Mafia, Hells Angels Motorcycle Club, Gil Dozier, Michael Mikan, and the Gambino crime family. Trump will walk three from these. Huh?
Hmm.
Well, hey, you know what? We believe in the legal system. Well, we believe
I
in
think so
the
too, Justin.
uh, not necessarily
No, we
all
don't believe in
aspects
the
of the
legal
legal system.
system.
Yeah, no, um, no, but I think we'll all promote the uh, he will be given a fair trial um, and be judged by a jury of his peers, or does he have peers? I don't know.
Are they gonna find a bunch of? Are they gonna find 13 80-year-old orange people?
Maybe
Hmm.
this
This
is
is nothing to
Democrat
do with anything.
fraud.
I'm pretty sure that Georgia is a red state, but also that that is the legal system.
Yeah, just like the election was really Trump's. What's up? We know.
Mhm.
We've heard these talking points before. Try to
Yep.
please come up with something new.
I know, I am funny.
We just
You know what's really annoying is that people find me really funny when I'm angry. Like my boyfriend and I will be having an argument, I'll be on this rant, and it's great. I'm really making great points, and then I'll just say something sarcastically, and he starts giggling at me. It really ruins the whole thing.
That's the fun.
Elec Election fraud will be coming to light daily. What? Okay. How many cases need to be thrown out of court about election fraud before you determine it's not real? Oh, and these cases aren't being thrown out of court. So the indictments are bullshit because of the Democratic legal fraud. But election fraud that was all thrown out, that's not bullshit. Were they thrown out by Democratic judges? Is that what Democrat judges? Is that what you're saying? They said it
Because they
is.
were all Republican judges.
And it couldn't contain her
I
excitement.
couldn't. I was so excited.
I just think that that's not smart.
No.
We can't have it both ways.
oh, but you know they'll try.
No, they always do. Um,
Oh,
what's
no.
up? I don't have a problem with knowing where to go to the bathroom at. Okay? It's in the toilet, not in jars. So I will not be having a problem with that.
Wait, what did I miss?
What's up? You'll be crying and shit all over yourselves when Trump walks free.
Oh, is that?
Hmm.
Oh, I'm guessing that's like a comment that you need to approve first.
Oh, no, because I think that Maji saw it.
Oh, then they must have me blocked.
Justin, I made a video the other day about hoarders, remember?
I mean, Maji, come on. They think Trump is God.
They do think Trump is God. Um,
Hmm.
anyway, I got sidetracked by jars. I
Hmm?
forgot what I was gonna say.
Hmm.
What do you think would happen if Biden had done these things and had these charges? What do you think the response would be from Democrats?
Oh God, they'd be forming a lynch mob.
Yeah, calling for him,
Oh yeah,
coming for him for sure.
absolutely. Which is exactly the opposite of what what Republicans do. What do you think Trump supporters, Republicans would do in that situation?
Oh, they would take it to the max.
Hmm.
Yeah, it would be a max. It would be max. It would be all the way up to they wouldn't settle for anything less than treason.
What's up, said laugh now. We'll all be laughing when all comes to light. When what?
And thing too, like um, for some ungodly reason, I get Twitter alerts from people like Lauren Boebert and Kevin McCarthy, even though I don't follow either of them. But I do see when they post sometimes, and most recently, Kevin McCarthy had tweeted, um, like, "This is terrible seeing the legal system weaponized like in a political uh, as a political weapon." And I'm like, his whole 2016 campaign slogan was "Lock her up."
And
Hmm.
he never did.
Okay, let's be really real here for a second. What Kevin McCarthy was he started as a representative in Bakersfield, California. That's kind of how I know him because I used to live there a long time ago. And he was terrible then, he's terrible now, and it's obvious to me that Trump, as with the RICO charges, come secrets, right? So, what kind of secrets does Trump know that he's holding over these people? And why are they so reluctant to come out against him? I just don't understand it when there's so many clips of like Lindsey Graham and Ted Cruz and all the rest of them before they got put in check, I guess, by the party saying negative things about him. I don't I don't get that. So,
I am so curious what he has on Lindsey Graham, because Lindsey Graham used to be respectable.
I mean,
Eh,
Trump is playing chess and the Democrats are playing checkers. Is Trump is playing chess the same way when a toddler wants to play video games with you, you hand them an unplugged controller.
right.
and Trump is playing chess, and in your mind, chess is like going on his not Twitter platform and just being like, "I'm the best, and this is just a witch hunt, and it's stupid, and this shouldn't happen." That's chess.
Exactly, Maji. It's a game. That's the reason they do it. But there's more to it than that with Kevin McCarthy, I think. Not all of them maybe, but I think Trump knows things. I think they all run in the same weird circles and they know things about each other, just like, at our places of employment, we know things about people, because we're friends. We get to know people. That's just human nature. And at one time, Trump was claiming to be very democratic. At one time, he supported Hillary Clinton and he supported Bill Clinton. And I don't understand why the other side doesn't see that. That they never talk about that. They never want to discuss that part of his life, because it wasn't until, he figured out the plan and he thought he could be a part of it. I think he just wants to be infamous. He always has. Even back in the 80s, right? I mean, when he took out that ad, he was trying to, on well, of course, be racist, but on top of that, add to his infamy, because he could
Hmm.
never live up to the things that his dad did. So he was just going to say F him in the first place. I mean, to me, that's Trump psychology 101.
Well, you're talking about like Republicans and how far they go. 69% of Republicans, like in a poll in July, still say that Biden did not win the election. 69%. That seems crazy.
Even after Dominion sued Fox for slanderous libel, that their machines were jacked up.
Hmm.
Yeah, it makes no sense to me. And like, we all watch, like, all of us on TikTok who are political TikTokers and enjoy politics, we watch, and we've watched this unfold in real time, and we've seen it all in real time. And some of these people haven't. They need to get their head out of the sand and their head out of their asses and look at what's going on in the world. That's just my opinion.
Facts over feelings, am I right? No, I mean it's true. Um, it's weird. I I don't know what it's going to take for Republicans to realize that their future does not lie in Trump. I mean, right now, um, like if they continue to put Donald Trump up and Trump like candidates up, I'm pretty sure the Democrats are going to show up. And right now, independents are leaning more for against Trump than for him. So
Mhm.
when are they going to realize that Trump is just a sinking ship?
Oh, see, I like that analogy because these people are literally the ones saying, like, about the Titanic, Trump is unsinkable.
Oh, are you did they not watch that movie?
Mhm.
There is no door floating in the ocean, okay? Melania is not letting Trump on that door
No.
if there was one.
And Lita, it's weird that you said that, because that's exactly where my mind went, was to that Titanic. It is so weird, because, I mean, good grief.
I don't, there's no
I mean,
grimace
was he
here,
going to
you
be a
know.
gentleman? I mean, are all these people going to be like those guys on the ship that had their top hats and tails, and they were rich, wealthy billionaires at the time, and they were the top 1%, and they were going to go down with the ship like gentlemen, and they put on their coats and sat on those stupid fucking chairs. And when they saw the water rushing in, their faces just were priceless. They thought they were going to go down with that, but their real fear was being wrong. And they were wrong, and they realized it. I analyze TV and movies way too much from a human perspective. It's my superpower.
What one of the people one of the people in Georgia that's charged is a Georgia bail bondsman because he tried to illegally breach election equipment at the Coffee County Board of Elections registration office, included in the Trump indictment. This is somebody who actually was trying to commit election fraud.
Hmm.
I don't think that any of this is new, right? Especially when it comes to like the Trumpers. Like they feel like they're actually the majority. I don't remember what religious like weirdo it was that coined the phrase the silent majority. No,
Hmm.
they are the minority, and they haven't shut up for a decade.
No, they haven't.
They
Democrat logic,
haven't.
that wasn't my point. My point was the fear at the end of realizing they were just as scared as everybody else. That was my point. So don't twist my words.
Right, but when it comes to like equal rights for marginalized communities, like especially like the LGBTQIA, sorry, 2S if Kelsey's in the chat, I don't want to get flagged for that. Um, I already
You
made
just
her
say it
mad
all the
yesterday
time.
about
You
something.
say it all the time.
Um, it, there are certain groups that feel like people in that community shouldn't have equal rights, and that's fucking wild. There's another group that is expressly about them having equal rights. And then there's another group that is just like, okay, well, like, yeah, they should. Like, why not? Like, I float between both of those groups because I pay taxes, I have rights, they pay taxes, they should have the same rights. I don't feel like because of who they are, who they identify as, who they choose to love, that they should be like relegated from having the same fucking rights that I do. Republicans, they're a completely different category. If you don't believe in my God, because apparently, like, that's the right one, you know,
Right.
they don't think that. So they see somebody like Trump, who Trump actually doesn't give a shit about any of this. Like, how many abortions do you think that man's paid for? He's got a punch card like Subway, you
I
know.
bet he
He's
does.
probably got a few free, you know. Um, it's just wild, and people that still support him, he is not like you. He is not the common man, never has been, never will be. People, please stop.
It's true.
Okay, that's it.
No,
I'm going
you're
to
right.
jump off my high horse morals, right? Because we've got that horse, right, Morgan?
Yeah, our horse named Morals. That's the horse I'm gonna get. Because it's my moral high horse, okay? I'm gonna jump
That's
off of
right.
it.
God damn it.
Probably gonna break my ankle when I do it. This bear person said I have brought charges since 2017. That not I have. Democrats have brought charges since 2017 with no convictions. Well, that's not exactly true, is it? Because there's just now 91 indictments that started a few months ago. That's not 2017. I don't know what weird TikTok time travel you exist on.
Yeah, the first
And
indictment was in October.
Hey,
yeah,
Morgan, I don't want to make you do any like extra effort. Like, that's not my thing. But can we explain to the group what a grand jury is?
I did. I was on a grand jury once.
That is a group of people that are selected, like basically like a regular jury,
But there's
that
a lot more of
reviews
us.
evidence and decides whether or not a charge should be filed against a person. This isn't a Republican or a Democrat thing. These are people that don't want to show up for jury duty that are now forced to show up for jury duty, and they like it's not like Hillary Clinton and George Soros are sitting around um, playing grab ass and deciding who they want to get charged with something. Like it's that's not a thing.
Um, and it's actually larger than a 12 or 13 person jury. It's actually usually a quite large group of people. And they do exactly that. They review evidence and determine whether or not they feel that there's enough evidence or that the charges that are being brought are part of the evidence. By the way, which is a lot of power for like a person who's selling cell phones or a person who works on the cell towers or does power lines. Like it's a lot of legal stuff happening, but that's our court system.
It's due process. It's part of our Constitution. You know, you want the 2A, but you also have to deal with this amendment as well. So
So this person says, Bear says, I said charges, not indictments, like the two impeachments that failed. Yeah, well, the difference between those two impeachments and the charges coming up on him now is that now the jury isn't
made up of 51 Republicans and 49 Democrats.
And also, an indictment only applies to a political figure. A charge would apply to Trump because he is a former president, regardless of how, like, Fox News likes to say his name. He's not President Trump. He's former President Trump.
You can't have a conviction without an indictment.
The S. Carl, Ron, whatever. I'm really, really excited about Trump 2024. Excited for Trump to, oh, Biden for president. Damn. No, I honestly knew it said that.
Okay, well, what's
Years of
what
deception
could
and
he go
deceit.
to prison for?
So the thing about it is, nope, no profile name found, is that you say 3 years is for charges, but wait until it's time to start campaigning. Trump started campaigning years ago, first of all. Second of all, it does take time. It takes time. If they had brought indictments in 2021, y'all would have been screaming, no way. But these cases take time. There's a lot of information. There's 91 total charges, and I'm sure there's more to come as they get access to more and more information. Yep, Trump started campaigning the moment he lost. He did. He's been campaigning. Trump is above the law. He will not do time. I mean, that is the fear, right? He can't be above the law.
They're wild about this, though. Think of 10% of those charges. I mean, I'm sure like all of them are legitimate, but even 10%, which is 9.1 charges, it's fucking crazy. And you want that man to be like in charge of the nuclear codes?
Yeah.
What is
I
wrong
I
with you people?
I find it most crazy that people on the Republican side that are all about law and order aren't even interested in allowing the criminal justice system to work out. I mean, they yell law and order, but when law and order is being applied to their side, they cry witch hunt. It's weird.
I'll say
Law and
it. If
order,
Trump
but
was
not here.
black, they would be
But
all
no,
over
not
this.
with this.
Oh, yeah, Justin, that's true. Sorry, what was that, Lita?
I'm sorry, it was like law and order, but not with us. Just for them.
Yep.
No, if Trump was a black man, they'd be all over this. Like they got all up in arms over George Floyd, who allegedly like passed a $20 counterfeit bill. Like, please, like like if you were gonna counterfeit a bill, it's not gonna be a $20 one, and you're only gonna have one.
That's true.
Come on, like any of us could potentially have a fake $20 bill, right?
Hmm.
It's beyond my comprehension that the ill shit that Donald Trump has done, 90 something charges, none of them, even the fact that, and we're going to go into the semantics with Republicans and the QAnon weirdos, that because he was found liable in a civil court, which is the same thing as being found guilty in a criminal court, yeah, he sexually harassed that woman. He did.
He
He
did.
sexually assaulted her. It's
Yep.
gross.
But like the same party that wants to take away our bodily autonomy of course isn't going to get crap. That's the problem.
They're more concerned about Donald Trump being able to sexually assault a woman than they are about how old was that girl in Ohio? Like 10?
Yep.
Being able to abort a fetus. I'm not saying a baby because that's not what it was. A 10-year-old being able to abort a fetus that was a product of familial SA.
Oh, where did I see was there was like a 9-year-old like last week that was forced to give birth to.
Oh God.
I
How is that even fucking possible?
think that was in Tennessee.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that would track.
That tracks. Sadly,
It's
that
sad.
that is so sad.
Came upstairs to put my parrots to bed and they said, I want to go downstairs.
Yo, I'm super wound up. I don't even know if I should be in a box right now.
The no profile name found said same thing you were saying when it was Afghanistan. First of all,
The fuck are you talking about?
We spent so many years over there. Troops on the ground. American soldiers were dying. For what? For what? You're
Wasn't that
talking about.
George Bush Jr.'s idea? Like, I don't.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
We don't even
What?
want. You people are
Weapons
crazy.
of mass destruction. That's what he said.
Yeah,
Those are
they had the
I
rats.
remember the
receipts.
speech.
The
I'm
Bush
old enough to
family.
remember it.
So, with the people in the comments, they keep saying no convictions. Like, do they not know how like the legal system works?
They don't know how timelines work, Lita. They think that we all have DeLorean time machines, and they all went into the future. And Marty McFly grabbed that Gray Sports Almanac, and at the same time saw that Trump wasn't convicted of this bullshit. Can we just like block these people? I'd love to
Why?
block them.
Don't
I
block
don't
them,
know.
man.
They make me mad.
No. It'll never get to a point to make a decision on a conviction. Well, that's weird because some of the trial dates have already been set.
Yep.
Okay,
One is
see
May of
Austin, can you get in the
2024.
box? See Austin's an attorney. I think they're like an attorney, like Mother of Dragons is an attorney.
Oh my gosh.
Do you work for the DMV too in Ohio? Fascist block speech. Yeah, that's actually true.
I'm not a
I don't
government though,
understand
but
what
I
your
also
point is.
am not a fascist. Hello.
Fucking
Hi,
Maji.
Renee.
Lita, your weight
Lita,
is.
you're very. I'm disillusioned with what?
I love Maji. Maji's in here stirring the pot.
I'm
He's
apparently
3D printing
disillusioned.
dragons and stirring the pot.
So
Yeah,
are
I
we?
want to. I want to know
nobody
what
that's
I'm
ever
This
disillusioned
is
banned
with.
or
true.
burned books has been on the right side of history. So think about that.
Trial dates in
No,
Democrat
no, none of
brain
us.
means conviction.
None of
No.
us think that these are. None of us think that these are convictions. Every single one of us on this panel right now is very well aware that Donald Trump has not been convicted of 91 felonies. These are 91 indictments. Just like there's an arrest warrant for his arrest in Georgia, he's convicted of a crime yet. Now, we can all talk about whether or not, in our opinion, he committed crimes. Every one of us, which we all
Hmm.
do believe he committed many crimes. But that's not the same as saying he's been convicted.
Also, by definition,
Nine,
fascism is a right-wing ideology.
90 indictments is wild.
It
That
is.
is a large number, right? And then that's coming off the heels of a civil case where he was found liable of essaying a woman. So he is not an altar boy. He is not an upstanding pillar of the community. He's not a good dude. Like, why would you
I,
simp for a piece of shit like this? User bunch of numbers,
Um,
weirdo. Who is this?
Ron
I
said
don't even know what
indictment
that
is
does again.
political, just feed for the sheep.
Oh God, Ron.
Sass, is somebody recording this live?
Hmm.
Um,
Randy probably is, or Grammy, or
Stop.
Aaron
No,
G. Hey,
like,
Aaron. Hey, Aaron.
no, I mean um,
Well,
like for our end.
I, I asked Karen if she would record it. I don't know if she is because I can't find my other phone right now.
Oh, I
So
didn't. I did not start recording it. No, I was on the phone with my mother.
I would
So,
really like to reference this particular live, like in May of next year.
oh
Yeah,
man,
we'll reach out
I'm
to
gonna,
Aaron
After some
D.
of
I'm gonna
Aaron D
download it
probably
though.
has a copy because Board Housewives of Ontario.
I assure you that 19 hasn't read the indictments. Who's 19?
And I thought we were up to 119, not 91. Weren't there 78 and then they had 41 new ones?
91. Who's
Oh,
looking at the
91.
news article?
Oh,
No.
okay. Then they're reporting wrong numbers in places. Okay. But more than one is too many for an ex-president. I'm sorry. One is too many for an ex-president.
He going to prison. He going to prison.
I mean, how
He's
many
gone.
indictments did Nixon have? And Nixon was a piece of shit.
He did
This
have
He
person's
like
username
openly did
is
illegal things.
Redneck Troll, and they said when you can be arrested for saying that there is election fraud, then there's election fraud.
theirs
That's
Is
what
that
they would
what
only
he?
try to do,
voters
redneck
fraud
troll.
though. It's theirs elections fraud. So who's they? Whose voter
They
fraud
So
is
tried to
it?
influence. They tried to influence the outcome of election. That is not what you were saying.
Willis will
Of
be thrown out for standing.
C. Austin keeps using neophyte, however you pronounce that word, as if he thinks that's like some sort of gotcha. But I'm not
Mhm.
new, buddy. I'm not
Laughing
new.
hyena is funny though. Dunning Kruger for Trump 2024.
Yeah,
That's a
I'm
good
gonna
one.
drop out because I'm getting tired. I'm ready for bed. But
Okay.
I will catch you all later. It was great hanging out with you today.
Bye, Lita.
Later, Lita.
See y'all
Poppy,
later.
I don't have any. I'm sorry. Hypothetically, if Trump does get in, what will you do? It's totally possible. You mean become president? I really would hope that it doesn't happen because if Trump becomes president, he will never leave the office.
We need a Chris 1974 to define communism before he talks about the Rainbow Coalition or whatever like homophobic, transphobic
Radical
shit they're about
rainbow
to
crap.
say.
I don't know what that means.
It's not very possible that he'll win. Like I'm not gonna say it's impossible that he would win, but no city's burnt, buddy. So I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not saying that it's impossible for him to win. It's highly unlikely that he would win again. While he may still be supported by a majority of the Republican Party, the Democrats and independents will not be voting for Trump. He will not win. It's highly unlikely for him to win the election. It's not impossible. It's highly unlikely.
Yeah. Not e- not even maybe.
It's just a matter of
I'm sorry,
Sorry,
Karen.
just
Did you call me?
fascist advocates for
sorry.
imprisonment of political opponents.
Haven't got him on
I
anything. None of
because
these people understand how a court process works. First, they
well
have
they
to do the investigation. Then they put it before the grand jury. Then there's an indictment. Then the charges are filed. And then there are hearings. And then there is a trial. Then there is the jury verdict. You cannot have, you can't be like, they haven't convicted him on anything yet if there hasn't been a trial yet. They do not convict before the trial exists.
They really think it's like this weird like tit for tat, right? Like, oh, we didn't like him, so we're just gonna like trump up charges against Donald Trump. Like that's not how it works. Like there was a grand jury, which is regular ass people that charges are legitimate. There's going to be an indictment. It's not like they were bored and they. It's beyond me that the people that are so pro Constitution only because they like guns, they ignore all the other amendments, right? Like due process. This is the way that we do things.
Yeah.
All these anti-American motherfuckers, they're all communists.
I don't want to get too deep into it, but it's kind of like the Bible. They pick and choose what they want.
Oh yeah.
uh Mark,
So
I think that Trump also announced because he needed money. He wanted to continue to grift by raising campaign funds that he's using to fund his life in general. Mix Rider, which is Mix, by the way, if you don't know, is like Mr. or Mrs., but for non-binary people. Um, I appreciate you showing the transgender community your support. Thinks that Donald Trump says that liberals need to be quiet. Well, I'm not a liberal, so I'm not too worried about that.
So I'm thinking about fielding an idea for like Sass Show like merch. Like I don't know exactly like where I'll put the logo, but I think that the theme that I want to go for, like with for like the first like shirt or like sweatshirt or something is the leading cause of pediatric cancer is God. Um,
Oh,
do I
that's
like
true.
what do we think? I'm just like fielding ideas.
That's a good one. I
Yes,
like that one.
I like that one.
If
Okay.
you liberals knew what you're supporting, you'd think differently. We will all end up dead.
Well,
I
one
mean,
day, yeah.
I have news for you. People in my community, transgender community, are already dying because of the laws put forth by Republicans.
Yes. I think we should
Women are also
out,
dying.
outlaw air because everyone who breathes it and drinks it dies.
Um, you know that the anti-abortion laws have raised the maternal um, death rates, right?
What about like the leading cause of transgenderism is air and water.
The leading cause of transgenderism is conservative parents. Um, I know I'm not the
Oh
only
yeah.
community.
You win.
I know that. I'm aware that I'm not the only community. I'm just saying that we are already dying. Women, people with a uterus who get pregnant, a birthing person's risk of dying in childbirth has already risen because of anti-abortion laws. Yeah, Trump did run in 2016, lock her up, but apparently we're fascist for the law being enforced. That is such a good point for that person who said that people who jailing political opponents are fascists. It's literally the campaign that man ran on. Oh,
Who
abortion
are
is
you to tell a
demonic.
woman what to do with her body? Just a question.
Um, I'm sorry. I am an atheist. I'll say that right now. But you do realize that there are people who are gay who are Christian, right?
Yep. Yeah.
I'm voting Donald Trump for president in 2024, and he'll be the president. It doesn't matter why. I'm gonna
I mean,
say,
shouldn't they be lucky that anybody's buying into this like old,
See,
outdated ideology that has absolutely no proof or science or anything behind it? Like, you should welcome
um,
anybody and everybody that you can at this point.
so I really wish, yeah, see, Austin had more than 116 people that cared what they thought. Because I would love to have them get in a box and explain to us exactly what laws that we're enforcing. Well, not even us, that the Justice Department and the state of New York and the state of Georgia are enforcing against Trump. Which of those same laws should be enforced against Hillary and Joe? What exactly did they do that needs that he did that they did as well that needs to be enforced? What law?
we talk about Mix Rider, again, supporting the transgender community, is very much suggesting that abortion is evil, which is funny because evil by whose definition? Like, by what scale are you judging good and evil, Mixed Rider? Yeah, I agree with Mark 100%.
Yes.
Best
I
way.
have a friend that was harassed by her state for 3 months after she lost a child she wanted.
Can you imagine?
She lost her child at 7 months, and they harassed her for 3 months because investigated her.
First of all, they proved that there was Russian collusion. What are you talking about? Chris probably needs his hard drive checked. I'm still
Yeah.
waiting for the answer from Mixed Rider.
Abortion is not abortion is healthcare, Chris.
I want to know by what scale Rider is judging good and evil. No,
No,
Mix
but
Exactly.
Rider.
I think any dude that wants to say some like homophobic or transphobic stuff and any of these comments on any of these lives, they should have to submit their browser history first.
I agree.
You know, share with the class.
Nobody's sane, Scepter. Nobody's sane wants to. It's weird to me that y'all want to elect a man, first of all, who's old as shit. You talk about Joe Biden being old. He's old. I don't like him either. Um, but why are you wanting to elect another old dude who can't fucking figure out how to shit in the toilet? He has to wear diapers. Um, but also a man who, like, was perfectly okay with people defecating on the walls of our Capitol. Where is all of y'all's patriotism? Thank you, Mark. I did not completely remember the information. Mix Ryder
Mark can
can.
get in the box. Like,
Yeah,
let Mark up. Mark knows things.
if Max wants to come up, you can come up.
Yeah.
Makes Ryder, because Trump was right, is not answering my question on what scale he is judging good and evil.
I just
Anyway,
had a
the reason.
patriot for the last time.
I mean, and they have
Fuck does that even mean?
they
Oh,
have
he's
destroyed
getting
the
mad because
word.
I'm calling him Mixed Rider.
Yeah, they've destroyed the word patriot, and they have completely contorted what that word means. I don't think Biden wants to be considered a patriot.
Well,
If being a patriot is what the whole Trump universe is about, I want to be called a patriot.
What
even
is
that, you're
Hillary
fucking
guilty
mad weird that you call the president of the United States not a patriot.
of?
That's like calling the CEO of AT&T like not you're a fucking idiot. Who is that? I'm gonna block them. Can I block them? Let me block
No,
them.
it's stop. Mixed Rider, the question I asked you was, by what scale are you judging abortion as good and evil? As evil? Well, like, what is your scale of good and evil? Where does it come from? You muted the person I'm asking the question to.
I gave them a minute out because they need to rethink their life situation and the things
Winston,
that like it's fucking
none,
crazy.
no
Morgan,
one,
come
no
on.
one's angry. Justin might be a little spicy, but he's not angry. Oh,
It's the oppression that I feel
thank
right
you,
now.
Frankie. I
I'm
feel
just
like
kidding.
singing the song from Golden Girls now. Mark, you're welcome.
I don't know. I just want to go home. I've been saying that for like
I
a day and a half
know.
now.
I know you want to go home. I'm sorry. I should have gone out to Pittsburgh again.
All I can hear is Anna's kitten. Or who's that, your cat?
No, that's Libby.
Yeah,
That's
you should have.
Libby.
You and Robin, and we could
Yeah.
have went to that bakery.
I know. I need to make Robin bring you some baked goods.
I'm leaving tomorrow.
Polish powerhouse, listen.
I didn't get to go have dinner with my buddy from the Berg. He's fighting with his friends, so
Mm.
I'm in.
Well, you know what? He's definitely like you may be in the Berg, but he's definitely in the pits.
Mixed Rider, what about abortion? On what scale are you judging good and evil? What determines it as evil?
Hey, Ryder, you know that a C-section is an abortion, right? If you don't know that, then you need to leave.
Yeah.
Treeman
Willingly,
77. Oh,
willingly
you got it.
blind. Tree Man says, willingly blind when you choose to be ignorant of Trump's innocence and the witch hunter's corruption. Willingly blind is when you refuse to see the things that he's guilty of that he has admitted to doing. He has literally said he did things
Three man's a
that are
thought.
illegal, and you are willingly ignoring them. He has literally said he did it, and they are illegal, very illegal.
Big Mark 75 said it's okay, you're not a patriot. Patriots don't break tradition and prosecute political opponents. We just talked with that.
The
Lock
Yes,
her
fucking
Mixed
guy.
up.
Rider,
Do you
those
know
are
Lock
what
her
happened with
up.
abortions.
Nixon? Oh my God,
He
these people.
campaigned on it.
Abortions bear. Press Ferry, I love you.
Mixed Rider, it's an abortion because it's an ending of a pregnancy. An abortion doesn't always end in the death of the fetus. My guy.
Oh my
Get it
God,
together,
listen to the
Mixed Rider.
non-binary AFAB person that's teaching you things. Um, Morgan's Cash App is in bio.
No, it's
Donate
not.
to the education that they just gave you. because
Mark.
I can't with some of these
You're
people.
black and gay.
Mark, we need to talk about your dye job, by the
Big
way.
Mark.
Oh,
And
Big
it's
Mark, sweetie, sweetie, sweetie,
No,
sweetie,
Mark
sweetie.
Anthony.
They actually pled guilty to it, to
I
sedition.
know people did plead guilty to the insurrection. Like, it happened, my God. It was on the TV. Where were you on January 6th? Mixed rider, an abortion, a C-section is an abortion. It's the ending of a pregnancy. It's not about being killed or not killed. He won't answer me
Yeah.
that we stuck with Christ. Okay. So mixed rider, your judgment on abortion is based on the religion, which is the question you're refusing to answer because you know that we live in a country where there's supposed to be a separation of church and state. On top of that, not everybody believes in the Christian religion. Okay? That's not, you can't make laws based on your religious beliefs. My religious beliefs is that mixed rider is, never mind, that was gonna go too far. Reel it in.
No, because
No,
a
my Big Mark.
miscarriage is medically an abortion.
Do you say that about all of the men in prison on drug charges that sit in a jail cell waiting for a trial for 2 to 3 years? Do you say they're being held without due process? Yeah,
No,
you
you
can't make
can't. Whoever that is,
It's in the
Jay Witch.
Constitution,
No.
dude. In
you,
the Constitution.
Mix Rider, you finally admitted that your stance on abortion is based on your religion when you said we stayed with Christ.
Um,
No one, Winston, we're not using abortion as a method of birth control, but if I was, ain't none of your business what I do with my uterus.
yeah. No one does that. It's a expensive, expensive, expensive fucking way to
Whoa.
prevent pregnancy.
What does that mean? Normal people make or have arrangements immediately. Oh no, he doesn't have enough. He follows enough people as enough followers.
It's like it's misogyny, the fact that they don't understand that women that decide to get or sorry, Morgan, uterus holders that decide to get an abortion, that doesn't take a toll on their mental health. Like a lot of the times when they have to make that awful decision, they've had names picked out. There's like fucking furniture that's been purchased. Like this is just a weird thing. And the fact they don't understand that a lot of the times it's done to save the life of the mother. You do not care about your wife if she has an ectopic pregnancy. It's been fun, lady. Like the option needs to be
But
available for women whenever the fuck they want it. Period.
Winston still calls it the jab, y'all.
Oh, Lord. Well, if you can make laws about, no one said abortion is fun.
What is happening?
What?
Mix Rider. What is, no. Are they 91 false indictments? Okay, Justin. Are there 91 false indictments? Sometimes, Mix Rider. Sometimes we have laws that make killing okay.
What do they think the death penalty
Well,
is?
and is killing okay, Mixed Rider? Because Press Ferry makes a great point. The mortality rate, the maternal mortality rate has already gone up in states where abortion is illegal. So is it okay to kill those women or people with a uterus? Please explain why you're atheist. I don't believe in religion. What? That's I don't
I
know
go,
how more basic I need to how much of an what? Yes, really. Really the maternal maternity mortality rate has already gone up. Yes. A woman is anyone who was assigned female at birth and continues to identify that way as they grow into adulthood, or a person who was not assigned female at birth but identifies as a woman in adulthood. Maji's culture has their own gods, which is, obviously many cultures have their own gods. And guess what? In many other cultures and religions, abortion is fine. Coda Sky, I got news for you. They've actually determined that many skeletons have been sexed incorrectly because actually it's harder to tell than you think. Are you agnostic, Robin?
Oh no, we lost Justin.
No, he said he had to drop down. Do you
Uh,
believe in do you believe in free speech, Karen? What?
do
Show
I believe
facts on, wait,
yes?
show facts on what? The definition of a woman that I just provided you? What do you mean show facts on that? You
I'm,
show facts on what a woman is. What is happening right now? Well, if any judge has a means to charge the Biden family with RICO charges, then by all means charge them. Oh, you can just Google that shit, man. I've looked it up before. What are you talking about? Uh, is it real life or is it just fantasy?
all right, can I
I,
just ask, can I just address something?
uh-huh.
Dems made a mistake using RICO. A right-wing judge looking to get famous will use it against the Bidens. If the Bidens did something wrong, use it against the Bidens. We don't care. People who do illegal shit should get charged for illegal shit, be found guilty of doing illegal shit, and go to jail for doing illegal shit.
The other thing, Coda, that you don't seem to realize is that nobody believes that they can change like their chromosomal makeup. Sex and gender are different.
Yeah.
Trump eats corn the long way. That made me giggle. I like that.
Uh,
What was it? What are you talking about, Big Mark? There are plants that are indigenous to North America that can be used for contraception and abortion. That's yes.
actually, Undertaker,
Uh,
people who were found, who were charged with voting for dead people,
no.
all voted for Trump.
Coda, I didn't say that skeletons changed. What I said was that there are many skeletons that have been gendered incorrectly because the differences are not as unique as you think they are. Trump is what came out of a clogged drain in the Wonka factory. Why do you, Polish, listen, you're an idiot. I can't help it. I muted you because you said some fuck shit. Ew. I am not trans, I'm a glorified cross-dresser. Um, what, what?
What? Can I mute personal attacks? That's just ridiculous.
I, I'm non-binary. What do you mean? That statement is, first of all, there's so many things wrong with that statement. Like, I'm not cross-dressing. I'm not about to call only because of looking deeper into female skeletons.
Interesting.
Polish, it's okay to have a different opinion, but it's not okay to be cause harm. Coda, this is so weird. What is so hard to
Hopefully, no
understand?
one will be digging me up. Who's
What?
going to be digging me up?
Why is
I'm going to
Big
be.
Mark talking about being a P3DO? Don't be self-identifying in my live. Go to the police. What does this have to do with 91 Trump indictments? Coda. Skeletons don't talk. And skeletons have been misgendered because they are not as different as you think they are. Why don't you take a look at a skeleton without any labels on it and you tell me if it's a man or a woman? We'll see how right you are. I don't know that this is real
You
life,
can have
Karen. I
petite
agree
men,
with.
you can have larger women. It's
Big Mark, I don't have a term for P3DOs. They're just called
gross.
P3DOs. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck is happening. I muted people who have been transphobic, actually. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
It's not an opinion when you're causing harm to other people.
This comment section is wild right now. Leave the children alone. There are no children here. Big Mark, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about because I'm not a P3DO. You sure seem real insistent that we need to talk about people who touch children. Stop self-identifying in my live. Go turn your hard drive over to the police. Maybe your tail feathers in my face.
No,
This is so weird. Anyway,
can I
the
mute
live is.
Mr. Taker, please, just to prove a point, just out of spite.
I don't care.
Okay, because just
I mean,
spite.
Coda, you keep insisting on this point of science that you don't even understand. And Press Fairy as saying to stop being gross.
And you got 5 seconds. Deal with it.
Coda, you are being transphobic. You don't seem to understand. I don't not even this live isn't even about being transgender. How did we get here? You don't even seem to understand that there's a difference between sex and gender. To make what acceptable, Big Mark? Nobody wants, the only people who want to make diddling kids acceptable is people like Catholic priests and the Southern Baptist Convention and Republicans. I'm not on a pedestal, man. I'm just some
Sorry,
non-binary human.
he called me a piece of shit, so I yeeted him. He's a 000 account. I don't care.
Okay. Okay. I don't I'm not on a pedestal. I am a human being that is non-binary, that is on the internet, that talks about issues that affect women and people assigned female at birth. And I'm talking about the Trump indictments. Like, I'm not on a pedestal. I'm just a human. The fuck is happening?
And if you can't stay on topic, you'll get muted. Can we go that way? How's that sound? If you can't stay on topic of the Trump indictment, you'll get muted.
Let's see your peer-reviewed scientific data that can back up your position on all of this. On Trump indictments,
Yeah.
my pronouns are they, them. I just told you I'm non-binary. I what peer-reviewed studies do you need about the Trump indictments? We can just go to the Georgia indictment. Like, you can get the court documents and read them. In fact, I read off all of the charges, all 91 of them, like an hour ago. Is that real? Is the Fulton County Sheriff gonna post Trump's mugshot on the internet? Why is that username ChatGPT? I am going to, but if I ever, I've told Justin that if I ever get a horse, I'm gonna name it Moral because some people say that I think that I'm on a moral high horse, and I'm gonna get a horse. I'm gonna name it Moral, and then I'm gonna get off that horse and be like, I'm not on a what about my horse named Moral? Why do you all think that means anything? What would you do, Mark, if you had 91 indictments? I'm not gonna vote for Trump. I don't. You know what? Here's Karen. I don't know what your prediction is on this. Because I'm going to give you mine. You give me yours. Here's what I think is going to happen here in the next few months. I think that I think Donald Trump is going to make some weird excuse to drop out of the election because he has too many court dates going on, too much shit's happening. And he's going to say that Democrats forced him with these fake charges, so he's dropping out of the election. How dare they do
Keep funny.
their thing? Oh, he's going to keep their money. Yep. I mean, I'd show up for court too. 71 will not date a guy who supports Donald Trump. Well, that's interesting. I'm voting for Hump, my lovely lady Hump. I'd show up for court too. Pew Research, 31% of women will not date a guy who supports them. That's funny, but like,
I highly encourage you, if he is not officially on the ballot, to write in his name. Do it.
um,
I
Sam,
highly encourage you.
you could be right about that. He'll not drop out because Trump, I mean, I think he's going to find a reason to say that. But again, I could be wrong, right? Because on the other hand, there is a good chance that he will not drop out because he thinks it's his only protection from the legal matters that are occurring.
Yeah. But I highly encourage anyone who wants him to be president to, instead of voting for the Republican on the ballot, to write his name in.
Hello, Polish powerhouse. I don't care. This isn't your live. Okay.
We're talking about Trump indictments. I don't know what that has to do with anything.
Please put my hump on the ballot. I don't know who this person is, but I'm gonna let him come up anyway.
Hello.
Hello.
Oh.
Welcome
Yeah,
to the Sass Show.
I, I guess the topic is just literally you can't escape it. I mean, it depends. It doesn't even matter what side of the aisle you're on, but it is really kind of polarizing. It's a sad situation personally for our nation that we even have to go through such a thing personally.
Truthfully, that is true. It is embarrassing that
Yeah,
we,
I'm not a Trump supporter in any way. Um, I just want to point that out. I didn't vote for him, and I would vote for a box of crowns before I voted for him. But that said, as much as I despise and have so much disdain and hate for him, or dislike, I'm sorry, hate's a strong word, I would never ever want this on our country because it really, as a retired Army veteran, it makes us weak. Our national defense is we are literally vulnerable to attack, and that's really what worries me. Not to mention, not even the attack from overseas, but attack from folks, radical nut jobs within, like the gentleman and I'm saying gentleman to be polite, but the human being that decided to commit
Utah.
unaliving by FBI in Utah.
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
So I mean, it's very disturbing to where we are at as a nation, um, and it's scary. You know, it's very scary.
When
And
when you talk about the stuff that's scary and like is embarrassing and crazy people, January 6th always comes to mind because like I've always maintained that if those people that were just a little bit smarter, they would have succeeded in installing a dictator
Yeah,
for the
yeah,
first
it
time in
would have.
America's
It really
history.
would have. I mean, clearly they weren't smart because these morons went live on social media and then wondered why the FBI a week later is knocking at their door. I mean, make it make sense. And you agree, user two whatever with no profile pic. You agree that Obama and Biden divided the country? No, they did not. What divided the country was the racist fascists in the country that were upset that they had a African American president for 8 years.
Yep.
That's what divided the country.
yes.
Yeah. Okay. So he's a
And then they
career
went, they
politician.
decided to do a complete about face.
Yeah, and they went with a wannabe Mussolini, freaking Cheeto Jesus dictator, who's got bone spurs. So yeah, and he represents patriotism, and he represents Christianity. Never literally. Not one time was he faithful to any of his. Literally cheated on his wife with a porn star while she was pregnant. Corn star. Make it make sense. But he
He,
represents, uh, like
The American
freedom.
dream,
Yeah,
freedom.
I can't comprehend that. How do you? I mean, and that's the thing. The scary part is that these diehard so-called Christians, oh, he's anointed by God, and I've seen T-shirts that say, "God needs to bow to Trump" or Jesus. I'm like, are you serious, man? Like, where have we gone? It's a stain on the American educational system,
Hmm.
and where have we gone? It's. I mean, I have
He
no
said
doubt
it
in my
himself. He said
huh,
it himself. I love
the
the,
poorly
say it
educated.
with me, the
yeah.
poorly educated.
Well,
Yeah,
one of the tactics that I fully believe in that's happening, it's been happening for a long time, is that our education system is bullshit on
yeah.
purpose. Like Republicans think that they can keep people stupid and they'll keep voting Republican. But we live in the information age, and I don't think that's going to work out so well for them for any
No,
longer.
yeah,
Not
I
much
agree with
longer.
you. Yeah,
Yeah.
I would have to agree with you because I think that the generation that's coming up now is so diverse. A lot of their friends are part of the different BIPOC or marginalized communities, and they see it for themselves, whether they are or not. They still have friends and connections, and they see that, and so these relics, these fascist racist are passing away, and what you're seeing. People are like, oh, we're losing we're not losing our country. Our country's evolving. We're evolving. We're changing,
Yeah.
and change is always met with some level of resistance. I firmly believe that.
Oh, yeah. And then the resistance realizes that they're resisting good things and they either die off or they come around.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, I cannot honestly tell you how many conversations I've had with people, and they're like, "Oh, you know what? Uh, I'm not racist. I'm an African American, and my wife is white. Our children are mixed, and I cannot tell you how many times, like, oh yeah, um, it's okay. I mean, I mean, I'm not. That's not my thing, but I don't really have a problem with it, and like, I don't really care if you do. Like, I'm not married to you. Like, I could care less what your problem is. I've been married to her 20 years. We've got beautiful children. I mean, like, that are all doing well and thriving in college, and so yeah, like, I don't care. I don't live my life to appease you or other folks. I live my life to be the best version of myself every day, and I strive to be a better person tomorrow than I was yet the day before. And I think that that's the problem with our country. A lot of people need to stay in their damn lane, mind their own p's and q's. Like, if you don't like seeing someone who's LGBTQIA plus, don't look at it. Like, that is the beauty of the freedoms that we have. And then I hear, oh, I don't want it thrown down my throat. What? You don't want them to exist? You don't
That's
want them
exactly
to.
what it is.
That exactly. Like, you know they're there, but you don't want to see them. They have to exist. They deserve that right. I was like, what happened to being a decent human being? Like, literally,
Mhm.
it's ridiculous.
Well, there's I heard one time I was watching a live and I heard someone say that their rights were being infringed upon because they had to see gay people on TV. That's the level of
I mean,
ridiculousness that we're dealing
I,
with,
I,
honestly.
I can't. I've been in lives before, and I try to jump into conservative lives. Of course, most of them know me by now, and they're like, "Oh, D-Max, don't let him up." Like, no, don't let him up, and this and that. I literally had a woman tell me the other day that because they were talking, I was like, "So you're not like cool with the whole terminology of a liberal?" No, I hate liberal. I said, "Okay, well, so do you like having the right to vote, ma'am?" Of course I do. Thank a liberal. Those were liberal women that got that pass. I said, do you like being able to own a credit card and not have to have your husband sign a permission slip for you to do that? Oh, you do? Thank a liberal. I was like, do you realize most of the rights that you have as a woman in this nation? Because quite frankly, like, you all, as far as women, which I've got nothing but daughters, 5 daughters, so y'all are queens, all of y'all to me. But you've never been appreciated for what you bring to the table when you actually are the damn table. Literally, y'all are, and it's like, she was like, well, then after I explained that to her and gave her a quick history lesson, she's like, well, maybe women just don't need the right to vote. And I said, ma'am, I'm going to go ahead and
What?
step out of this live, because if you're going to be that close-minded to say that, oh, well, I'll renounce my rights to vote simply because, God forbid, a liberal helped you get those rights, then you're a little further gone than I expected.
There are
That's
people on this.
that's some shit right there, man.
Right? I mean, like, what the heck?
There are people on this app who have been advocating for the repeal of the 19th Amendment.
That's
So they're
crazy.
debating that needs to go away.
That is just, make it make sense in the year 2023, ladies, that we have got to tell people, no, there was no benefits to enslaving human beings. There was zero benefit to that. Let me be freaking emphatic and clear. There was no benefit, whether it was, there's just none. Like, there's no
There was
justification.
no upside for anyone
Yes, no,
involved
absolutely.
in that side of the relationship.
Yep. So, and then I just can't. So to kind of shift gears, here's what I believe that's going to happen, because I know that's the topic, is the indictment. Initially, after like the first, I think the Alvin Bragg one, I was like, maybe there's some there, and maybe they'll get something out. Maybe he'll get a fine or so. I don't know. But after the second one came out with the documents, as a gentleman who worked in the military for 21 years and was around, I had a secret clearance. I didn't have a top secret, but I had a secret clearance, and I worked on JPass, which we help get our soldiers and airmen and sailors their security clearances. We do backgrounds and stuff like that. I understand the classification levels. I understand the severity of keeping that stuff contained, and the chain of custody has got to be airtight. And if he had these documents, as they allege, because again, he's innocent until proven guilty, as they allege, in his ballroom and bathrooms, then his goose is cooked. I mean, like, there's no explaining that off. And from what I've heard, and again, I could be wrong, many of those pictures were sent by people who turned him in.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's mind-boggling the level of mental gymnastics that a Trump supporter has got to do to make it kind of make sense in their mind. Like, well, but I mean, how do we know there was no top? Maybe it was just fake. It was put there. The Justice Department's corrupt. I said, okay, all right, well, I mean, we'll have to let it play out in trial, and then I bring up, I'm like, guys, if he's innocent, why not just want a speedy trial? Why is he trying to push these all back past the election? Think about it. If you're innocent, if it's me, like, yeah, let's go to trial tomorrow. I got nothing
Right.
to hide. I am an open book.
Yep.
Let's go.
Well, Dick
Yep.
Lee in the comments here just made a comment that's really a huge part of the problem, right? I support Trump and always will. First of all, we know that these people support Trump and always will, but that's weird. That's not how American democracy um, works. That's not the ideals of our nation, that you just, no matter what, you're always gonna. That's dictator, hero, God worship. That is not
That's some
reasonable.
sycophant ideology right there.
That is why his son-in-law got uh, money from the Saudis. Yes. The indictments are not fake. There's 91 of them.
And that's the thing. 90, if there were two guys, I'd be like, yeah, maybe it's a little, there's some there, and they're picking on him, as his supporters like to say. But 91, I mean, he's not going to win, number one. And I want
The,
to be clear about
the
that.
sheer number of people that would have to be involved in a fake setup of this magnitude, the sheer volume, you would not be able to keep a secret that it's all fake, that like there would be people talking. Right? It is not possible to keep a secret that's fake. Much like the stealing of an election. You can't. Is he either Sleepy Joe and too dumb, or is he the greatest mastermind of all history?
And that's the logic that we're dealing with. Oh, he's dumb, he's sleepy, he can't put a sentence. I said, but he can win an election, and he can also apparently he's a criminal mastermind too. So, which one is it? You can't cherry pick things that only fit your narrative. It's
Yeah.
either got to be one way or it's got to be another. So
Yeah. So
it's. Oh, go ahead. I'm
have
sorry.
you been here the whole time, the whole live, or when did you just get here? So
I got here probably about like a minute or two before you guys let me in. I thought, oh, cool, Trump indictment. Let me join that. It's like,
I
yeah.
don't know who
so
I don't
So
know who Young Genius
one of
is.
the
I'm gonna.
arguing points, and they keep bringing this up, is the gentleman. I actually don't want to assume gender. The person in the comments going zero convictions since 2016, and why didn't they do this 3 years ago? Why they haven't gotten him on anything? He hasn't been convicted because they don't understand how the legal system works.
Right. It takes time to build a case. It takes time to get evidence and witnesses. And the thing about their logic is that, oh, it's the Democrats. The funny part is not one Democrat has testified against him in any of these cases. They've all been Republicans or the people that he claims I only hire the best. But the best is not really helping him out. His own attorney general, Bill Barr, he was a piece of trash. Okay, you said the same things about Jeff Sessions. He fired Sessions, hired Barr, and spoke extremely high of him. I said I take offense as a service member because he literally got on there and said, "Oh, Matt is over." Kelly was overrated. These men served 30 plus years in uniform, multiple deployments, multiple, like they saw some stuff, and you're going to have the audacity to sit there and, I like POTUSes that don't claim bone spurs and stuff like that. That's kind of what I like. I like guys who don't do that. And then I sit there and I'm like, look, guys, you're not dealing with someone who's stupid. It's like, I've got a master's degree in psychology, and I'm telling you, you guys are literally, it's almost like the mental gymnastics that you guys do to justify the actions of a guy who could care less about you. Try just once to go on to Trump golf course one time and see how you feel. See how that works out for you. Just go up there.
Donald
Yeah.
Trump goes to golf courses, and this is like a well-known fact. He goes to a golf course, he plays the shittiest game of golf in the world, and then he pays them money to give him an award.
Yeah, yeah,
He
yeah.
he he challenged the guy who actually won his club championship, challenged him to a round of golf, and when he lost, he said, "Oh, that's okay. We'll share it then."
Gotta make, you can't make this up,
All right.
man.
Is that a flux capacitor?
What's
Indeed, it
that?
is.
Okay. He
Oh
has a
wow.
flux capacitor.
Oh yeah, I guess from
Yeah,
the Thing movies. Sweet.
yeah. Young Jesus, genius, not Jesus. Welcome to the Sass Show. Did you have something you wanted to add?
Yeah, about the whole Trump indictment. I'm very confused. I see a lot of things like this. Maybe your opinion's a little bit different from others though, but I see from the left especially has this theme up about Trump indictment, picture of Trump in jail and stuff. Very, very confused. Look left, point of the I would say perspective, I guess. It doesn't go for everyone because obviously you can't tell someone's political views exactly. They just have Trump, on their background a lot of the times about the indictment and stuff. Hey, big on this app, CY views, stuff like that. But when it comes to this, though, a lot of the left has been damn, I was about to use something that probably gets you banned, but complaining, about the justice system, right? And now all of a sudden, they're like, oh, the justice system, it's great. They're getting Trump, stuff like that. And I'm just like, wait, 2 seconds ago, you're complaining about the justice system. And now you're like,
What
oh, the
was
justice system's
like
great.
about the justice system?
What was that?
What were the complaints about the justice system?
Yeah, wrongful convictions, people being
Okay.
held.
Because due process was not performed properly.
So,
By
like,
who?
first of all, I hear many leftists continue talk about the justice system specifically, usually talking about things like systemic racism, which is factually correct. Trump is an old white guy, so he's disqualified from that, right? Um, just because Trump is being indicted, we understand that Trump has to be convicted before it actually means anything. And we've also witnessed Trump admitting to the crimes, many of the crimes that he's been indicted for. I don't need to have a lot of faith in the justice system to understand that these indictments are pretty fucking justified.
Admitting that these are justified. I would like to ask how they're justified. The only way they would be justified is within court, and if he pled not guilty, then it would be justified
No,
until it goes.
No.
indictments are justified.
The
Yeah, but
indictments are justified.
It did an investigation, and he was admitting that he did certain things, and they did a proper investigation, and they took that evidence, they put it in front of a grand jury, and he was indicted. That is a justified indictment.
Do you know how a grand
No one
jury
is
works?
saying that he's been
Hold on.
convicted. Yes, I
we do
do.
know how a
We
grand
do know
jury
how
works.
Yeah, a grand jury
works.
doesn't get all the evidence put out in front of them. Do you realize that?
They get the evidence put out in
That
front
the
of them
prosecutor has
that the
gathered. They get
prosecution has
that.
gathered.
Yes, they get
Yeah,
evidence.
and the
I've actually
prosecutor.
hold on, young genius. I've actually been on a grand jury. Okay, so
Yes.
the grand jury
You studied
literally
law
is
by chance?
okay. Again, I've been on a grand jury. I understand how the process works. The grand jury, a bunch of people, given all the evidence that the prosecutor chooses to present. I understand it may not be all the evidence. And all that is to say that the grand jury believes that there's enough evidence to take it to trial.
Exactly. That's all it says.
No. You're like misunderstanding a lot of it. The evidence that was given to you wasn't the evidence completely like part of obviously the trial. The DA like obviously chooses what evidence he wants to present to the grand jury.
That's what they just said. That's
Literally
literally
what we
just
just
said.
said.
No.
Okay.
That's what I said, man.
Well,
So did I.
yeah.
D-Max it today, them, just so you know.
Oh yeah. So all right.
I'm sorry.
So when it comes to evidence, though, obviously, like evidence, you can say you have evidence. We debunk that all the time in courts. That's why people are let go of what they're obviously indicted on all the time.
And it is
happens.
up to his lawyers to disprove that evidence. It is very hard to disprove evidence when there is literally you standing in front of a whole bunch of people on tape saying that you did something.
Most know you, Karen, because they put a lot of exclamation marks after your name.
What? My what? Because that's
Your name.
That's possessive.
Karen.
My what?
Oh.
My exclamation points? My exclamation points what? What about my exclamation points?
Whether you like it or not, young genius, the people in the grand jury did view enough of information that they felt that there was enough to take it to trial. Like we can, if there wasn't enough evidence, if the evidence, even if the evidence that was shown wasn't enough to say there might be a crime here, then they wouldn't have indicted him. I would probably bet there are indictments that existed with those 91 indictments that did not make it through. You disagree?
So,
yeah,
young genius.
I can say why I disagree. Like if I can get the.
Go ahead.
You disagree with the
absolutely.
legal process of a grand jury?
Yes. Well, not the legal process of a grand jury. The reason why I disagree here, obviously, when we talk about a grand jury, we're normally like talking about like someone like we don't know. Not saying Trump's like innocent or what. It'll be proven, but I could say that obviously like a grand jury, like we have all opinion based stuff. If a right winger was like to go to like a Biden grand jury, just say for example, if it ever happened, don't know if it will. I'm pretty sure they would be like, oh yeah, he's guilty. You know, like I agree with this.
But it's not
They
one
don't.
person.
The what about is
also don't.
stop.
It is. So when you look at this, though, we're talking about like this is something we've never seen before, right? We've never seen this. We've never seen
Yes,
this.
because
And you're
we've
talking.
never had a United States president who went around this country admittedly telling
I
people,
didn't let
wait,
me.
no, that admittedly were telling people that the election was stolen while knowing that it wasn't.
Well,
That's
we'll see
never
what
happened
happens.
in our history before.
Yeah, but
So
well,
then
like I
why
Never
are
said,
you
happened.
this.
here, young genius? Crying?
Wow.
Let it play out.
I'm not. I'm not
You,
crying
you
about
are
it.
crying about it.
I'm
Oh,
not
this
crying
is.
Yep.
about it.
Yeah, you are.
I could really like care less. I didn't vote for
But
Trump in the
then
first
why are
election.
you here? See ya? Like, what are you doing?
See ya. I'm just trying to educate a little bit.
Educate.
So
You're not educating
Wait,
anything.
what?
You're
You're
I'm
not.
whining.
not
You're giving a
educating.
lot of
That's what a lot of
opinions.
people,
Yeah, you're giving
uneducated
your
people say.
opinion. Are you an
Yeah, that's what
You're
a
attorney?
giving a
lot of.
Are
lot of
you an
opinions.
attorney?
Yeah. Am I
Are
an
you?
attorney?
Yes.
No.
Then how are you educating anybody?
I'm educating you on solely based off the topic that we never had
You're,
someone
but you're,
We
world
all know
hold on,
that. We all know we
you're not
had
worldwide
a
educating
former
us, but
president indicted.
worldwide. So
you're not
you think that?
educating us on the
Yeah.
information. First of all, you
So a simple
repeated the thing
question
I
then.
said to you. Hold on,
So
you
simple.
repeated the thing. You repeated the thing that I said to you. You're not educating us. We are very well aware that this is
Okay, then you
unprecedented.
agree. Then you agree with me on like the
I
grand
don't agree with
jury.
you.
I
I
don't
can
agree with
Oh,
you
guarantee
in
I
any
don't.
you
way.
don't agree that the grand jury could be tainted solely based off
Oh
of
my God.
people's personal
What I- what
beliefs?
I what
And
I
red
actually
Florida too?
No more than any grand jury is tainted.
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah, well,
really?
the other
Really?
piece of that is that you don't, the
Wow.
prosecutor can go into the courtroom or can go to a grand jury and not provide the identity of the person that the charges are against. Now, I know the situation would be complicated to really outrule it being Trump,
Okay.
but what are the chances that in Georgia that you're going to get a grand jury of enough people that are in fact Democrats versus Republicans who
In Fulton
happen to
County?
be
Donald Trump is a private citizen that is being like there's evidence of crimes and he's being indicted by a grand jury.
Yeah,
What is your
no,
fucking deal with that?
you're saying
He's just
private.
like everybody else right now, dude.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
The
Hell,
fuck it isn't.
Justin, I can tell you why it's not, and you can disagree. Let me tell you why it's not. First of all, a grand jury facing someone that's obviously known to the whole world, okay? In the United States, first of all,
They did the same
commander
thing
in
with R.
chief,
Kelly.
commander in chief. Like, come on, man. Like, really?
Former.
Not
he's not
anymore.
anymore. He's the
He's not
former.
the commander in chief. He's a private.
A private
Thank you,
citizen
D-Max.
now, but he
It
was
doesn't
the commander in
matter.
chief. Like, okay, these people don't know who he is. Yeah, people have opinions based solely, like, people were pushing for him to get indicted and stuff like that, like, before this happened. So, the same people that legit I would say every
There's
citizen
evidence
has
I
to
their
was
it.
own
pushing for
That's
opinion.
what they reviewed.
accountability.
Look, is a grand jury supposed to have opinion based?
No.
No,
It
they're
is,
not. None of
no,
No.
them are supposed
So,
to.
actually,
so tell me,
hold on, wait.
so tell me,
You're
hold
Actually,
on.
you're making a
grand
fucking
jury.
guess that they
Listen.
ruled
So
Okay,
based
if
on
if you
their
they had
hold on,
opinions.
moved
everyone,
forward
hold
with
on.
lock her up, you would have had the same opinion, correct?
He probably wouldn't have. The grand jury is actually looking at the evidence that they're provided and making a determination based on their opinion. So they are forming an opinion. They are doing the best they can with the information that they're given, yes, but they are forming an opinion. So your premise was already wrong. Okay. In addition to that, we are talking about multiple grand juries across this country, 91 different indictments, not just one or three in some blue county somewhere. 91. And I really do believe that this is not the end, because the more cases that come forward, the more access to the campaign funds and his financial records, the more you're going to see. And let's not forget, he did lose the case where he SA'd a woman in New York and got away with it for how many years? That's a man that you think is a good commander in chief. Says more about you than it does about anyone here.
So, young genius, do you think they just got like a room full of people and I think we should indict Trump like they just like it was like a YOLO situation? Yeah, why the fuck not? Let's do it. And you just figured like, yeah, we got nothing better to do. Like, let's entertain the fucking nation. Or do you think that they sat down with a bunch of people and showed them a bunch of evidence and asked them what they thought intelligently about what was presented in front of them if he committed a crime?
I don't know
or
if Young
91.
Genius is aware that I muted him because he was not allowing people to finish.
Yeah, so
I
I'll
like him
point
better
out
than
the
hipster
first.
genius though.
I'll answer both of those. Like, first of all, like the host was asking if I would like have an opinion based, obviously, like the lock her up,
That
referring
wasn't me,
to
that was Karen.
who was that?
That was
It was
me.
Karen.
Oh, yeah, Karen. So, yeah, like everyone would. When it's a public official that's known by the whole United States, yeah, everyone's going to have their opinion. We see like the right and the left stand with someone. Ties into Justin's question. Justin, if you want to repeat that, maybe you need to reword
So
what you
can I
said.
just follow up on that question? Quick question. So are we never supposed to hold public figures accountable? Because
Nobody
there's
does.
always someone's going to have
Hmm.
an opinion about them.
Nobody does.
And Karen said, would you carry the same opinion? Not would you carry a opinion?
Everyone will. Whatever party they
You
align with, they
No,
will.
would you be arguing the same argument you are arguing right now if it was Hillary sitting in that courtroom?
If it was Hillary sitting in that courtroom,
Would you be arguing the same exact argument you're arguing right now?
yes.
You would be saying, this isn't right. He shouldn't, like, this is a public figure. You
What?
can't believe everything that
No,
you
that's
say.
not what I said. That's not what I said.
Lock her up.
So
Remember that, Young Genius?
yeah, yeah, exactly.
Remember
Like,
that?
so we
No,
have a grand jury. You guys are
what the jury came, the decision the jury came to, because it's
off of
a bunch of
biased
people with
views.
bias.
Yes,
So
it
would you be
is.
saying that is true for Hillary Clinton as
Yes,
well?
absolutely.
So you think that if
I call
do you,
bullcrap.
so
I
you
think you're
Bull
dissing.
crap.
I do too.
Yeah.
Disingenuous. How would
Yo, I
Disingenuous.
agree with
Hold
D
on.
Max.
he
He's
used the
disingenuous as
word
fuck.
disingenuous? How would that be that, D-Max? Please tell me.
Because I think you're trying to be
I
condescending.
don't
You
care
would
what you
not
think,
be.
D-Max. D-Max, you served in the military,
Oh,
right?
well, can you, I'm gonna mute him again so that you can finish your
Thank
point,
you. Yeah, I
D-Max.
mean, he's coming here because
Jesus.
he's trying to stir up trouble because
Served in the military, but you
he's.
Hey, shut the fuck up and let D Max talk.
Thank you, Justin. I really
I
appreciate
know
that.
he is, Mashi. I know.
And I think the big thing is he's trying to get a rise out of you. This is their tactic. They do that even though they know supposedly the party of law and order doesn't want the legal process to play out. I mean, you guys can call me stolen valor all you want. It does not affect me. I'll tell you what's not stolen is
No,
my
dude, I muted
retirement
that.
check.
I muted that guy. I'm not cool with that shit.
Yeah, my
Continue. Sorry.
retirement check, and actually, I'll pull up all my rewards right here. I got no stolen valor here.
I didn't say that. I
No,
just said like
No,
Yep.
not
we'll
you. We're
deal with
talking about
someone in
the
the
comment
comments, and D
section.
Max doesn't have to do that.
yeah,
Yeah.
I wasn't calling out stolen valor whatsoever. So D-Max, like when you started off the conversation, I don't care. So I don't think you learned anything
Like,
about the
you
army.
started off. Oh, okay. Wait, what?
Whoa! He
Yeah.
didn't learn anything about the.
He didn't learn
You're
any
assuming that he was in the army. He could have just been in the armed services.
It's cool. I like silencing
What is that?
white
I'm
men.
sorry, man. Can I see your medal again?
That's cool.
He is army. Dope,
Congratulations,
dude.
man.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for your service, man. Oh,
Appreciate
look
it.
at
Thank you.
Morgan.
Like
Yeah, man,
you.
that's dope. Well,
Appreciate you, Justin.
how do you feel about somebody that like defended the Constitution and fought for their country about the bullshit that Trump's doing? What's your
So
take?
What it is that he is the biggest chicken we've ever had in the White House. And the thing is that when I see these memes of him as Captain America or as Rocky, he's the biggest chicken we've ever had. You've never had a president that was buddy to like Kim Jong Un and sending love letters. Literally, after a month previous to that, we brought home an American student, Otto Warmbier, and he was tortured for years over there, and he ended up passing away thanks to the torture. And what did Trump do? Never held him accountable. He said, "Well, Kim's okay," but literally, you've got a five-time draft dodger. None of his kids have served, but yet he somehow loves America. He couldn't even marry an American wife. No disrespect to any of his wives, but
I
literally,
think
his
Marla
business.
Maples was.
Yeah, I think yeah, she was the only one. But for the most part, I don't know if you all have heard, but there is a lot of smoke where people are saying that his wife currently, Melania, is already looking into divorce settlements, 2 billion or something like that. I heard. So,
What
I mean,
happened?
I
to be
hate that.
honest, dude, can we blame her? Let me ask you
No,
one thing
I don't blame her.
as a vet. What do you think about the bounties that I can't remember who did? I think it was
Yeah,
Putin,
yeah,
right?
that one got
Can you
me.
talk to that?
That one got me. Yeah, that one got me. The bounties, and then that he literally will sit there and say, "Well, I asked President Putin, he said it wasn't him, so I don't think it was him." So yeah,
Yeah,
but yeah,
the
Hunter's
fuck
got zero
boy, you
convictions.
know.
Hunter doesn't have any convictions. Just so you know, Michael, he's not. They didn't. They're reopening that case, so he's not a convicted felon of anything.
And you
And
know
it,
what? He's also not a public, like, public official. He never served. He was never elected.
Right.
He never
Yep.
served.
Never elected. I never voted for him. Never voted for him. I don't really. Here's the
He
thing.
never
We don't
even
care.
worked in government.
Unlike Ivanka and Eric and all them that were getting these sweetheart deals from foreign dignitaries
Well,
and
my
China,
father's
all these patents.
Well,
administration.
if we want to talk about like children of presidents and we want to talk about scumbag behavior, didn't Eric steal from a child's cancer charity?
oh,
He did.
goodness, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah. They can never run a charity in the state of New York again. Literally, they got conned.
And you know what else Hunter isn't? Part of the fucking cabinet for the president because that was normal, right? That was
yeah,
so
and
normal.
they also didn't override and Max
Background
as being
checks.
like a member of the military didn't override the fact that they said Jared Kushner could not have.
Security
Yes,
clearance.
sir. But guess
Yeah,
what?
they
Donnie
said
passed
he.
that through, right? Pushed it
Yep,
through.
got it through. Yep. So to be clear, you Trump supporters in the comments, you guys don't want a president. You want a dictator, and let's just call it what it is. You didn't. You never wanted a president. He alone, you said, can fix it. He had 4 years. He didn't fix it.
I have
He
Hmm.
I
didn't.
have I have things going through my head is that he can never be a dictator, but he'll always be a tater.
What a dick. Um, that's the thing that I most worry about, like, because I don't believe that Trump will get elected again. I don't think he's gonna make
I
it through
don't
the
either. I
election.
really, really don't. I don't.
But I
But
do
on the off
encourage
chance that he
everyone to write
is,
him in on the ballot if they think he should be president.
Yep.
no.
Write him in.
Maybe, I don't know. But I do think that if he did become president again, that like he said he would not leave office. He said that.
Oh yeah.
And so what would you what would
Well,
we do at
I've got
that
a
point?
question for D-Max.
Yes,
So
sir.
they're definitely going to pick a Republican candidate, right? They have to. That's just the way things are.
Right.
Right now, Trump, DeSantis, they're both
Ugh.
pieces of shit. Who's the bigger piece of shit?
To be quite frank, I really think that you know that's a tough one because I look at that from different perspectives. Ron DeSantis wants everybody to know he's a jerk. Trump wants people to think that he's a part of them. Ron DeSantis doesn't give two shits about anybody, nor does Trump for that matter. But DeSantis is more reminds me more of Shitler.
Now I was going to say
Yeah.
he gives me Shitler vibes, dude.
And so, he scares me, which
Smart.
thankfully, like I said, none of them will stand a chance because the thing that his base doesn't realize is that out of the Republican base in this country, only 33% represent or identifies as a MAGA Republican. The other 66%, 64% or whatever is literally looking at another option because they're tired of Trump. They're just burnt out on him. They're like wanting to move forward and they don't want to be a part of this so-called revenge tour that he wants to go on and like throw the country in a tailspin. So, yeah, no, it's not 69. because of the case he'd be in office right now. It's literally not 69%.
That's
That's
the
very popular out there. Comment.
the
It's not.
the thing about I always said about DeSantis is that like Trump is an idiot compared to DeSantis, and that's terrifying. But DeSantis is like not doing such a great job in Florida. His
Hey,
immigration policies
Harold.
are destroying farms.
Hey, Harold. You said, hey, yes, we do. Just watch Dems. We watched in 2022 during that red wave. How'd that go for you, sir? Huh? How'd that go, Harold?
There was
Remember that big red wave that was coming? Come
a
on, you
big
guys
trickle.
are
Yo,
not
so
like he.
D-Max,
Spotting.
you're from Kentucky, right? I saw
I'm from New York City, but I retired from the military and I live here in
you live in
Kentucky.
Kentucky. What do you think about your representation there, man? I know you got plenty to
Well,
speak on.
I do, and I'm glad you brought that up because I am actively involved in. I do a lot of you know canvassing, and I want to be involved because I think it's important that we as American citizens get involved. And for me, I think it runs a little deeper than that. We literally have had people who look like me that have lost their lives so I could have that right. And whether it's insignificant to some, but it's very significant to me. And I would hope, whether you're a Trump supporter or whatever, that everyone exercises their right to vote. Because it is important, and we've got to honor our past and those who've tried so hard to maintain that civic right. Uh, but to further your point, I'm a big supporter of our governor, Andy Bashir. Big supporter of him. I love him. Love what he's done for the state, the Commonwealth. I am not a Mitch McConnell fan, but I will say this, and please do not take this the wrong way. I think in his older age, Mitch is realizing he's reaping what he sows. So he backed Trump and got behind him, and now anywhere he goes in the state of Kentucky, he's getting booed because he's not publicly coming out and supporting this man. So yeah, he's reaping what he sows. I can assure you this: Mitch doesn't want him reelected. I can assure you that I think if you privately, I'd say 92, 93% of the Republican Party elected officials don't want him, you know, reelected. But it doesn't. Does it really surprise you when they literally put forth candidates like George Santos, if that's even his name? I mean, like literally, yeah, like these are their candidates. I mean, is his name George Santos? I do not know. We think it is. I mean,
It's not.
I mean, literally, it's like basically an unindicted person, and then it's like how many indictments does your running the guy running against you have? Um, Someone asked me the other day, would I ever vote for a Republican? And I had to think long and hard about that. And I started to think, one with some level of military backing behind them, which again, I don't know how this is going to go over, but I really do like the integrity that Representative or former Representative Adam Kinzinger has. He's a veteran like myself. He's very much, he literally could have been reelected easily and chose to go down the right path and go against Donald Trump and stick to his principles and his values. And, it's just so crazy that you have, like, when I see women out here, like, oh, I love Trump.
Yeah.
It's like roaches for Raid. That's like what I think of, roaches supporting Raid. I mean, he literally was on tape talking about essaying you. He's been held or civilly liable for essaying a woman. And you're like, oh, yeah, he's anointed. Like, where have we gone?
Yeah, it's weird.
So I've got one more question for you, and then I'll rest my case, Your Honor. Who is the bigger fucking clown, Mitch McConnell or Rand Paul?
Probably Rand Paul. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to say that. And the reason why I say Rand Paul,
Correct answer. That
because
is the correct answer.
thank you. The reason why I say that is because he's often left field, and the mother effer is a damn physician, especially with the back and forth with another physician, Dr. Fauci, because it was politically advantageous for him to do so. Literally, was politically advantageous for him to do so. So I mean, at the, I don't understand it. And you're a physician. You took the Hippocratic oath.
He's not a
Your job.
physician. Can we not call him that?
Well, he was an optometrist or
Yeah.
something, an eye doctor or
He's an
something.
optometrist, not an ophthalmologist.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
can give people prescriptions for their eyes. And he had to get his
right.
parents to create a board to pass him to get that position.
Okay. All right. Well, again, he's got some medical in his background. So I
Mhm.
thought he would be a little bit more empathetic, not even sympathetic, but empathetic to the plight and to hear our former one term, twice impeached president say it is what it is when asked about the over 650,000 dead Americans because of a disease that he completely debacled and mishandled his administration. Because the Space Force was definitely needed. We didn't need the pandemic response office that Obama created. We had to have a Space Force. I mean, come on.
I have a
Do,
joint Space Force base near me in Massachusetts, by the way.
what do
The
you
only
think
thing
was
That
that
the
Well,
good
was
came,
that's
my
just
the
profile
only good
picture
thing
for a
that
while.
the only good thing that came out of space was the show that they did on Netflix with Steve Carell. That was kind of like a fucking joke at the fucking joke that Donald Trump created of Space Force. We didn't need that shit. What a waste of money.
Wasn't that
Financially,
before? Wasn't
fiscally
that before?
conservative. No, I think it came out at the same time. If it didn't, then they
yeah.
should sue because another thing Donald Trump stole from other people.
Yeah, I mean, no, the impeachments weren't successful. They were not. You guarantee it? Did you guarantee it in 2022 that Trump would be elected too, Patrick? Because
well,
again, I
technically
mean, like literally.
the impeachment succeeded in the fact that Donald Trump was impeached. He just was not
Yes.
convicted, which
Yeah, because most of those Republican senators had no backbone. And I say most because like the second one, over 10 of them, 12 or something, voted to impeach him. So after January 6th, and as he sat there and watched it, and he said, "Go home. We love you." I mean, literally, we love you. You can't make this shit up.
I mean, he's like,
hey,
I love the poorly educated, and they fucking cheered. Like,
Yeah.
be embarrassed because you deserve
Yep.
it.
Half of his base. I mean, I'm not trying to be mean, but I would say probably about 50 to 60% of his base doesn't even have a high school diploma. And I'm not even being mean. I'm being honest.
Eric said that the left is terrified of Trump. And my question is, how are you not?
um, hey Kat, welcome to the Sass Show. I thought it'd be easier if you came up in the
No,
back because the
no,
comments were
thank
going so
you.
fast.
Thank you. And I need to, I'm hitting the phone, yeah. Yeah, no, thank you. And I definitely, I have amazing friends on both sides and creators on both sides on here. And I get very misconfused sometimes, because I don't know if you know JRTP, very dear friend of mine. Like I'm on the side. The reason why people misunderstand me is because under the Trump administration, yes, and his first policy, someone said in the comments that I didn't know what it was called. Well, I was being federally trafficked at that point. I really don't know. I kind of blacked that out a little bit, but my federal case is still going on. And I say, well, I know that policy was reinforced from Obama. I know that Trump did not create that policy. I know that. It was reinforced, therefore it saved my life. I get a lot of heat for this. But the fact of the matter is, yes, do I don't say Trump saved my life. I say his administration. I say administration. And I just, yeah, so I'm willing to listen. But that's what was my point in the comments. And
Wait, how did his administration save your life?
What was the policy? Yeah, you
it
said
was
there
his
was like
first
a.
policy signed in. I don't have the exact name. The first policy signed into office. His first one was the Anti-Trafficking Task Force. Homeland Security is exactly who saved me. Okay, and so that was his first policy. I don't have the exact name. I got a little heat in the comments, which is fine. I get it. It's okay. People are like, you don't know the name of the policy, and I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. I was doing a lot more than that, but yeah,
Cat,
yeah,
cat.
yeah.
I want to first off just say I'm so sorry that you had to endure that. That is horrible,
Thank you,
and I
thank you,
truly, I literally, am sorry to hear that.
thank you.
Um, uh, secondly, um, I'm glad that worked out for you, because at least there was some good that came out of that
Agreed.
administration for someone.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Agreed.
Like I really am glad that worked out for you. I'm not going to beat you down or
Thank
anything.
you.
You're free to support whoever you like. I'm glad you're safe, honestly, and I just wanted to throw that in there.
No,
No,
you know what? Thank you for that, guys. Like,
I agree. I'm also glad you're safe. I can understand why you would have a viewpoint that you do have. Now,
right.
it is the anti-trafficking and child get up real quick so we don't get
Thank
into
you.
this.
Yeah.
And Donald Trump did appoint a White House position for that task force.
right.
That's factually correct. There is like I will say that that is something that is good, of course. And then he also was it Trump who did the 9/11 commission and wrote that into law? That's the other good thing I can say that Trump did. Um, and so those things are good, but that's not going to discount all of the harm that he's caused to women and transgender people and homosexual people, of
I
course.
know,
But for you,
and I
I
agree.
understand what you're saying.
Thank you, and thank you for
Sorry,
that.
let
Yeah.
me interrupt real quick, just because
Oh,
Biden.
okay.
Oh, Justin, you paused. Sorry about that,
By the
Kat.
way, thank you. That's okay. Thank you. You know, thank you so much for that, and I agree. I really do. And also, D-Max, thank you.
I don't I don't have an Justin, but
Oh,
I
you're
just
you're
wanted to
so
say Biden
welcome, Pat.
also signed a law that was
Mm.
anti-trafficking. I had to swap
And
out to like look at it. So
Yeah. No.
yeah,
No.
and
you can
all
look that up.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So
yeah, no,
they
and
all do it.
I'm not
Nobody wants people
discounting.
to be trafficked.
Yeah, and I'm not discounting that it happened under Trump, and that yes, he did resign it, but it also he did create some he did do some things that made it harder to protect victims.
yeah, through the domestic violence, he changed the language in. I invited someone. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that.
No,
He
you're fine.
changed the language in the Domestic Violence Act, and we talked about this a while ago, if you remember, Karen, when we did
Yeah.
how the Trump administration affected women and people assigned female at birth, and one of those was the domestic violence language. And I don't have it pulled up exactly what it was, but it weakened that and made it harder for those victims, which is unfortunate, of course.
Mhm.
It absolutely is. And real quick, I'm not at all trying to be disingenuous at all. So about Obama. I know I already said that about Obama. Yes, I said he reinforced it. So just so you know,
Yeah.
guys, like Trump reinforced it. And because I was being federally trafficked in the time under Trump, I'm very thankful that he reinforced what Obama put into action. So I just want to,
Yeah, Cat,
I want to make sure. And I
Cat,
did, yeah.
please.
Huh?
Yeah, you don't owe them people in the comments any justification. You live your best life, Queen.
Thank
We
you.
are happy. Like I said, we are so happy you are safe,
Thank you.
because I can only imagine the horrors. And
Yeah.
so just disregard them. You don't owe them a justification. You're good. You're safe. We're happy. And I mean, I don't care if you're a Republican, whatever. I don't want that. I wouldn't wish that on anybody. So
Thank you.
please do not feel like you owe them anything. You live your
Thank you. Thank
And
you. Thank
I
you.
also, I of course agree. I also have friends. I do have mutuals on this app and friends on both sides. I am much more contentious with people who want to support, generally speaking, support Donald Trump to be president again. I'm not a fan of that. I can understand why you would be thankful to an administration that did reinforce that, pointed the cabinet. That
Thank
makes
you.
complete sense to me. That doesn't come off as someone who is saying that, Trump didn't
Just
admit to
following.
lying
Yeah.
about the election, whatever. Yeah.
But can you know, I want to, so I'm getting a little bit of pushback when I say this. I truly believe that our country right now, as much as I do have a lot of gratitude to Trump and his administration, I think our country needs something effing new, because right now we're all divided. Like, I think we need someone else. I can't say who it is. I
Yeah.
don't know. But we need something else to come in and save this situation. That makes
Let me
sense.
ask you this: What do
I
you
agree
think
with
they
you.
were divided upon, though?
So that's a great question. Uh, Don't laugh when I say this. I call it like high school. I feel like I'm back in high school, guys. I feel like,
Hmm.
You're absolutely right.
yeah,
Yeah, look at the comments. That
yeah,
reaffirms what you're saying.
yeah.
Listen,
And,
none of
and
us
I,
are getting
yeah,
ice cream parties every fucking Friday, and we're all not also not getting like free lockers. Like, listen,
Right.
politician politicians work for us, and the problem
Yeah,
is that a lot of these
right.
politicians work for corporations. They're
Absolutely.
fucking all greedy, and I think it's human
Absolutely.
nature to be
Yep.
greedy. Just
Yep.
because like everybody wants to do the best, they want to do the best for themselves, they want to do the best for their families, but at the
Right.
same time, they're doing it at the expense of other people, especially marginalized communities. So, with that being said,
You're right. I mean,
high school
I'll
drama.
watch, I'll watch. There's CNN, there's Fox, whatever. And guys, if you like, and I'll take the time to watch both, and it's crazy to me because I'm like, oh my gosh, they're both, like you said, it's like, it's money against money is what's happening, and it's just insane
Yeah.
to watch. And again, I'm all about what's best for us, for the people. I say I attribute the administration because I don't attribute just him. Okay, there's a lot of downplay with this. There's a lot of other factors in play here. When being fairly traffic, I dealt with a lot of politicians on both sides. Okay, I can only say that. I can't go much farther than that. So it's what's best for the people and our kids, number one. And I'm not talking about anything about gender, anything of that right now. I'm just saying what is best for us, guys. Like that's it. We gotta stop this. That's
But
it.
what is best for your kids though? When you were talking, you
what
said
I'm
gender,
what I
and
what,
I
no,
think that's an
I
important
said I
one.
wasn't talking about that. What I'm saying is, I think that we have kind of gone as adults into like fighting each other,
Hmm.
and we're forgetting like to really get to the children. Is what I'm saying. I'm not saying you guys, but I'm just saying that kind of come to forefront again. When I said about
Well,
gender, it's because I feel like a lot of things are kind
I'm
of
gonna need you to expand on that though. Like, what is important to children? Is it education? Is it arts and music? Is it sports?
well,
Is it
okay, no,
gender
great
Yes.
equality
question.
and acceptance? What is important when it comes to the children?
So great question. Obviously, from my standpoint of what I went through, I have one thing I stick on really big right now. Is that the number came out 3 or 4 months ago about 85,000 undocumented kids. So clearly, I have a trafficking stance. I'm very concerned about that situation. I'm not blaming anyone on this because let me tell you, this runs deep, guys. This is not Biden or Trump. This is both of them. It's all together. It's not one or the
It,
other.
I'm sorry,
Oh,
but
well, hold on, wait, Justin, wait.
isn't
Justin.
undocumented children though a immigration policy issue though?
So
I wanna.
I skirt very shakily on this because I have to be careful. I don't want to cause a disagreement between Biden against Trump right now. What I'm trying to say is like it's a problem, and it's we got to get back to the root of our problems. Like,
I'm gonna let D Max go next.
okay, sorry.
No, you're
Oh,
good. You're great.
you're totally fine, Kate. Or I'm sorry, Kat. You're adding a lot of personal experience to the conversation, so that's
Right,
needed.
right.
What I was just gonna say is that I feel, and people, I was posing this to a good friend of mine the other day, who he too is retired and he's on the other side of the aisle, but he's like a brother to me, and we've made this standing rule we don't talk politics, but for whatever reason we started to talk politics, and he said that what would be great to get rid of both people, kindergarten teacher, elected
Right.
kindergarten teacher, because she would be able to maneuver through all the juvenile behavior that goes on in this country, sit down and be nice to each other now, kid. You know,
Absolutely.
I mean, it's funny, but the more I thought about it, and then listening to what Kat just said about um, the comparison to high school and or middle school or whatever, that's so true. Like they literally deal with children for a living. Why not? Clearly our educational system will be revamped. I mean, because they're going to have a passion for education. And looking at
Yep.
some of the comments, that's what needs to happen. It needs to be revamped.
Yeah. And D-Max, thank you. I stopped reading the comments because when I was doing that, it was starting to upset me. And thank you for that because I stopped. I was like, no, I'm not reading this anymore. I
No,
respect all you.
don't pay attention to the
Yeah,
comments. They're all a
they're
bunch
not
of
even worth your time. They're just going to spew hate and
yeah.
division.
Thank you.
Like
He
I
was.
think that we all care about children. What I'm trying to get at is I'm trying to see exactly what part of children's lives you're most concerned about. And yeah, I understand
All,
like the
all of,
trafficking and
all of
stuff.
it, all of it, all of them, all anything that involves our children should be important. All of it.
Hey,
What
Nana.
do you think about their education, though? Do you think that the fact that people in the 2S LGBTQIA plus community exist should be taught to children so that it breeds tolerance and acceptance? Or
So
you're
I'm
just
gonna,
like, you think it's
no,
a
no, no,
grooming thing?
no. I'm gonna go back to when I was in school, and I think a lot of us are probably in the same age bracket here. I know when I went to school about English, math, science, biology, Spanish. Okay, I, I that wasn't a subject. I'm not saying to be against it or for it, but I'm just saying I'm going back to when I went to school, and it was all about, curriculum, and that was a
What wasn't a
curriculum.
Yeah.
subject?
I was well, I did have that. I had
No,
uh,
but you said it wasn't a subject in school. What was it?
the LGBT, the LGBTQ. What whoever just said to me, that was not a subject for me at all. What a subject was
Yeah,
You
That's
know,
not a
it's
when I
still
subject
not a
now.
subject.
It's still not,
well,
yeah.
it's not a subject
well, no,
now,
no.
but
Oh yeah, I
Kat,
thought that was the
it's not.
question. I thought that was the question. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to upset anyone here. I'm just
No,
Um,
no,
yeah.
Cat, no, you're Cat, you're
Okay.
good. I don't,
Okay.
I don't know if I like phrased it correctly. Do you think that people that are part of that community, 2S LGBTQIA, that they should be talked about when it comes to like history, English for that matter, the arts, the fact that these people exist, that they have these relationships, that they have these identities. Um, do you think that like it should just be like washed out of school, or it should be like accepted and embraced and used to like breed and further acceptance, so we stop with the intolerance and the hate?
Oh no, I absolutely agree with the intolerance and hate, but at the same time, I'm gonna go back to me growing up as a child in school,
But
and well, hold on real quick. Like it's almost like um, I'm gonna go back to the trafficking thing. Like that's not taught in school. That's not spoken about, right? And should it? Yes, it should be. It should be taught to our kids what to watch out for. Not saying that the other side. So what you're saying is actually what I'm saying. Yeah, these things, you know what? All these facts and matters should be talked about to our kids. But you know what? You can't pick and choose. What I'm saying is curriculum is curriculum, and it just needs to go back to that because if we put one in, we have to put the other in the other, and we have a whole thing
So
here.
can
Because
I?
so,
kids are
but
kids.
I kind of agree with that as a parent,
Thank you.
actually. Um, and because I know that there are parents that don't
yeah.
talk to their kids about that.
Right.
That's
but that
just
falls
it.
under. I think that falls under the idea that comprehensive sex ed needs to be taught in grades K through 12.
I
That
can I
Okay.
I really think we need a mandatory nationwide curriculum, not just state to state. And the reason why I say that is because with the amount of movement of children, and you put like prime example of me when I was in grade school, and I'm almost 48, and we're moving from New York to like North Carolina. I almost had to be left back because I was so far ahead from the curriculum in New York than when I went down to North Carolina. So like I'm just saying I'm not saying a nationwide curriculum is well I am, but I think it needs to be tailored to what our students are going to be around. Like for instance, for us to
Okay.
sit here and be naive to say that they're not going to run into people who are of a different ethnic or community is ludicrous because if
Right.
they're going to have jobs and working in the real world as we like to say, then um, they are going to have to do these things. They're literally going to have to do these things. So yeah, it's we've got to figure a way to make it better so that every kid
I,
has the
I
same
agree.
opportunity.
I agree.
and
All around.
I think and I'm not going to be real popular in the comments here. I think the only way at this point, in all honesty, because we've gone so far off track, I think the only way at this point is for the United States government to turn to other countries and say, "How did you make it successful?
Yep.
Ooh.
How did you make
Okay.
education successful? Talk to the
five countries in education say, how did you make education successful? How did you make your children safe? How did you make these things happen? Because they're seeing success, which is why they're the top.
It's
Why in any other field, that's what you do, is you talk to the people at the top and
that's a
ask,
fact.
what do I do to get to where you are? And they give you advice. It's mentorship. The
I mean, Republican
United States
lawmakers
has
don't
gone
want to
so
hear
far
that
back
shit.
that we
I
need
I
mentorship.
agree
They
with
can't
that.
even ban assault rifles to keep children safe in schools. You think they give a shit about music and art education? They've been cutting those programs for the last 10 years.
But I think what she was saying is no, no, and listen, what she's saying is, the mentorship and looking to the top to understand how to make that lesson plan in a way. How do we model and how do we reform this better? Because if we're not in the top five, we're not in the top two. Let's figure out how to do that and what are they doing that's better. I absolutely agree. That was awesome. I do.
I mean, we're not even the top like 10 in
That
freedom
that's
on the
your
freedom
point.
No, we're
scale
not.
Yeah,
for the
that's
land
your
of the
point.
free and the home of the brave.
Right. That's her point. That's what she's saying. Yeah.
But in do, I don't know if you know this. I think that I've said it to a couple of the people over here in the boxes, and I think maybe the host. I believe it's Switzerland. That I think it's either Switzerland or the Netherlands that is able to leave their children outside
Yeah. In
because
like
they don't get
strollers.
kidnapped. They have
Wow.
no child kidnappings there.
That's
So
that
can
right
That's
I
there. We need to
something that's
learn.
it
Yeah.
wasn't even conceivable for me when I heard it.
can
I
I
looked it up and checked 15 different sources
that that
before
is
I
that is
believed it.
really crazy. My sister-in-law, just back on the 22nd of July of this year, took a job and she left the United States. She took a job in Germany. She's an educator, and she was just, afraid. She was living in Oklahoma, right outside of Oklahoma City, in a heavy crime, or not living, but working in a heavy crime district. She's got two small children, and so for her, this opportunity arose for her to get a because she has her master's, to be a school counselor at a military base in Germany. And one of the main factors, because I asked her, I said, like, why do you want to move your husband and kids to Germany? Like, what are you getting out of it? She said, number one, the cultural experience for my kids, but number two, as an educator, I can take my kids to school and not worry about it being locked down because of a mass unaliving or something. She said that's security. They don't have that there. They have common sense laws there. You don't ever hear about those things there. So she said that was my main motivation for going. And she texted my wife the other day and was like, it's like a breath of fresh air, like literally a breath of fresh air. So
Oh, yeah, I the this one also not going to be popular in the comments, but in Finland, Finland is ranked the happiest place on earth. And when you go there and you talk to the people say that it is because they feel like their government is working for them and never against them. Also,
That's
something that
that
is
sounds weird.
inconceivable in the
Oh my
United
gosh,
States
that right
on
there.
both
Yeah.
sides.
Government is
Um,
also run by a bunch of millennial women, but I'm not going to go with
well,
that.
that's the other problem, right? So I agree. One of the things that Kat said earlier was that she feels that we need like a reset, right? With our government. Most liberals, leftists, Democrats don't like Joe Biden, right? But
hell
we
no.
but we knew that he was the safer choice in what we had to
Exactly.
do. And so it's just that's just where we're at right now. And the thing that so many of us are clamoring for is age limits on office.
Yep.
It's out of control.
I'm
Yeah,
still
that
Exactly.
forever.
makes sense.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know this may sound weird, but will forever be feeling the burn. Personally, that's just me.
No,
But
yeah,
he's too old
Th-
now.
no.
He's too old, but I mean, I think just his personality,
His
and
the mentality behind it.
yeah, I mean, the
I
guy literally was arrested for protesting with like, for human rights. I mean, like that is exactly what we need. A guy like that who's willing to like put his actions behind words as opposed to just empty words that don't mean nothing. You know what I mean? We need somebody like that.
th-
You know,
you know who my vote would go for if she was ever on the ballot for it is Katie Porter. When
Mm.
she
oh my
made
God, yes,
people on the floor
absolutely.
play freaking Jeopardy, I was like,
Oh,
oh,
okay.
that's
I like
president
that. I
material
like
right
that.
there.
But
Yeah, and
can I
thank you
ask
for
a
the
question
gift,
about
Jen.
RFK? Like, and I'm just asking, guys. Like, I don't want to get assaulted in the comments. Not
No, you're
assaulted.
not going to be assaulted, but he is not a
Yeah.
Democrat. He is funded by Steve Bannon and the right wing nut jobs. He is not a
Oh
Democrat. He is a
no.
wolf in sheep's
Okay.
clothing.
Okay. No, I understand
Has
as a federal
distanced
trafficker, I went
themselves.
through a lot for some years. Like I'm kind of coming into my own, again as an
Yeah.
adult. So
No,
yeah.
you're fine. His literally his own family, his sisters, and they've all distanced themselves and denounced. Like, yeah, no, we don't feel like that. That's not what we stand for. So, yeah, no. If his own
Okay. Yeah.
family is doing that, then why the hell would I vote for him?
No,
Kind of
no,
like with
right. No,
Trump.
yeah. That's why.
It-
No,
with-
that's why I'm asking. Exactly why. Like
Yeah.
I'm
And
just asking for it.
he still he's an anti-vaxxer who's still, I'm pretty sure he's still one of the ones who thinks that vaccines cause autism. So
yep.
I
Oh
That
I
makes
no,
need
no sense.
thank
That
I
Thank you
makes
need
all
to
no
for the
say
sense
gifts. I
this.
totally
really
ever.
appreciate. Y'all don't have to gift
no,
me,
no.
but I appreciate it. I really do. Thank you so much for the gifts.
For
No, D Max, you
everybody
deserve it. You all
that's
do.
in here, do your research on the person. Not everybody in the boxes, but do your research if you are an anti-vaxxer. Do your research on whether or not it actually causes autism, because that scientist was completely discredited and stripped of everything.
Exactly. Facts. Yep.
yeah.
It
Oh my
doesn't cause.
gosh,
It does not
Justin.
cause it.
President advocate for victims of violent
Oh my
crime
gosh,
for over.
Justin, I'm dying. I'm sorry.
I I also need to say this. There is absolutely nothing wrong with an autistic person.
No.
That part.
They just aren't like you.
They're smarter than all of us. Sorry, and they're amazing. I have two girlfriends that have autistic, a girl and a boy, Alex and Evan. And let me tell you right now, those kids. Oh, like I wish I was like both of them. That's all I'm gonna say. So yeah, mm, that's all I can say.
There's a couple of people in the box. I don't know, got let up because he demanded I let him up, and that's not how this
I
space
saw that.
works.
I
But
saw that.
the other two people in the box, I'm not usually end my live about 10 o'clock, but this was a really good conversation, so I didn't want to stop. So like after
Yeah,
this
yeah. No,
conversation
I'll get
ended,
out.
no, I just
Yeah,
wanted to
yeah.
let the people know that we're waiting because I feel guilty that they're like waiting, and I know I'm not gonna let them up because we're gonna have our conversation and then I'll probably end the live. So I felt bad.
Oh no, but I'll jump down. Like
Oh,
yeah, no. I want to say thank you to everyone. Everyone here. Like I can't thank you enough and appreciate Unicorn, D Max, Misty, all of you. Thank you because sometimes
Cat, I sent you a follow, Cat. God bless. You ever
God
need
bless you.
anything, man? You know what I'm saying? Like, really, I couldn't even imagine, some of the things you've been through. But I did want to point out
Oh
one thing before I get off here because I am a
yeah,
big advocate for mental health. And as a person who suffers every day with trying to look in the mirror and like what I see and love
yeah.
myself better every day, I'm lucky to have a support system that helps. But I really want to say that sometimes it is good to get off these apps because it's
Mm-hmm.
not worth your stability. It's not worth your mental health. It's really not. And I think that it's important that we take care of each other and ourselves. At the end of the day, Biden nor Trump really has that much. I'm more concerned with the Senate and the Congress who we're
Mm-hmm.
electing there. And so, but yeah,
Absolutely.
I
Yeah.
really believe that, like, Also, my wife and I, we just adopted a little girl we've been fostering for 6 years. I'm an advocate for foster
Congratulations.
care. Thank you so much. I'm a big advocate for foster care and adoption. It's not for everybody, but if you're interested, please get in contact with your local. So thank you so much, Unicorn, for allowing me to share this on your platform. But I really am a proponent. There's over, in each state, there's over 550. We're talking teenagers that are literally not going to have a place to sleep. They're sleeping in a group home. And that is shocking to me as a able-bodied adult in this country, in the richest country in the world. We have children, our most precious asset, that are not being loved. So do what you guys can, please. Also, if you can't physically do that, then we also have other things you can do. Most of these children, and like at least 80% of them, when they're moved from one home to another, their personal belongings are all put in a trash bag. So if you have old suitcases, you can donate them. They take those. They do give them to the children. But yes, please get involved. Stay involved. If you don't like something, get involved. Try to change it. That's my motto, man. God bless everybody. Thank y'all for the platform. Thank you for all the gifts. God bless you all so
Oh, I
much.
gotta follow you before I forget.
Um,
Hold on.
Yes, please. Yes,
D-Nice,
I already followed you
God
guys.
bless you.
thank
Oh,
you for
absolutely.
coming through.
I'll be back. No doubt. I'll be
Yeah,
back.
no, I appreciate you. You did bring a lot of facts and great conversation. I'm so glad we met tonight. I followed you as well, and thank
Good.
you. And of
Yeah.
course, share your
We
about foster children. It is a huge problem.
It is.
I
we
Yeah,
do
it
this
is.
every Wednesday at eight
Okay,
o'clock.
I'll be back next Wednesday. I will
oh,
be
thank you.
back.
Thank
All
you
right.
guys. I'm so
All
glad I
right.
met you all.
Bye,
Thank
guys.
you.
Thank you. Kat,
Bye.
thank you for coming by and sharing your story as well. Like
Thank
I said,
you.
I definitely understand why you would have the opinion about what the Trump administration did in regards to
Right.
trafficking. Of course, that's the opinion that you hold.
Mm.
We didn't really talk about exactly where you would stand on the future. That's okay. We had a great
Right.
conversation anyway. So thank you for
Yes.
coming.
Yeah.
Thank
That
you. Thank
actually
you
might
guys
be a
so much.
good topic one week,
Oh, I
Sass.
like that.
Yes.
I would love that.
Yeah,
And I
because
would love, yeah.
yeah, and I would definitely want to invite you to come for that
Thank you.
conversation. Yeah.
Thank you all.
Thank you,
Seriously, you
Kat.
guys are amazing. You guys have a great night. Thank you so much.
And thank everyone who came. Thank you, Karen, Miss Diesel, Justin, and all my mods. I appreciate every one of you. And thank you to the weird conservative people that yelled at me for this entire live but watched the whole thing. I appreciate your engagement.
Thank you. You guys are
Not
amazing.
you,
Have
Kat.
a
I
great
meant the
night.
commenters. You have a
No,
great
no, no, no,
night.
no, no, no. I was laughing at that, how embarrassing that is. I've seen it. I get it. It's embarrassing. I get
Oh,
it.
okay. I got you. All
All
right.
right.
Everyone
Bye-bye.
have a great
Bye.
night.
All
Good
right.
night.
Bye.